Welcome, everyone, to the Underground Sound, our final episode of 2022, our New Year's Eve spectacular. With me, as always, is Carlos Fandango. Together, we are putting the us back into music.
So please do like, subscribe, and share, and we'll find the music that you love to hear. And also, don't forget to press that bell so you get the notifications as and when we upload the videos.
There you go, Carl, keeping on top of the notifications. Please do press that bell. And as always, visit usundergroundsound.com, find our Spotify playlists, make these songs your own on your personal playlists. And big shout out going here to Nathan Bashir, our show sponsor. Want to say thank you for the sponsorship once again, brother, for the final episode of 2022. Just submitted a new song called Black Dog. Check this out. This is Black Dog by Monsters Are Real.
Someone behind me, an old ghost from my
That was Black Dog by Monsters Are Real. Thank you very much, Nathan, for that song and the sponsorship. And today, our New Year's Eve spectacular, we are going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to listen to clips, and then we're going to have a little bit of a discussion on each. And we do need your help in helping us decide the best of the 22s. But before we get to that, I want to introduce our very special co-host today, Smart Monkey from Cornwall. Smart Monkey, please tell us a bit about yourself, your music, your passions, your inspirations, the future, and anything else that you'd just like to share.
Hello. Thank you for having me on board. Yeah, so I'm an electronic musician based down in Cornwall, beautiful part of the world. I've been doing music, well, probably since my early teens. Started to dabble with an old Amiga 500, and I used to get passed me down synth modules from a friend who I used to know. He would move on, and I'd end up buying for quite a cheap price, to be fair, his old synth modules, and I'd MIDI them up, and that's what got me started into music. Always been a big fan of electronic music, always been a big fan of using computers as one of the main instruments, one of my tools, because throughout my life I've always worked with computers. My career is based around computers, so it just had to happen that the two would come together. I love music and I love making music, and using a computer to do it was just a natural progression for me. And then probably latterly, probably in the last few years, I've taken that much more seriously. I used to do it more as a hobby in the bedroom. And then, well, I kept on pushing myself and playing it to people just to get the feedback, and more people were sort of going, well, why don't you release this? Why don't you get it out there? And so gradually I've been doing that and getting that music out there. And it's an interesting journey, because it's not until you do that you start to almost take yourself that bit more seriously, and you start to hone in your good bits, and you start to try and get the production values better. And yeah, I think over probably the last, I would say probably 2-3 years, that maturity in the music has happened so much quicker now, just because I've started to push it out there. And the best thing is getting feedback from people like yourselves on formats like this, where you get that positivity for some tracks, or maybe the honesty that another track is maybe mixed a little bit bad or whatever, and it just pushes you to just improve yourself that little bit more, and so your music matures and everything just hopefully gets that a little bit better.
Absolutely agree, because it's a gradual learning thing. Well, it's a fast learning thing at times, isn't it? Because it's a continual learning. I mean, there's so much to know, and I don't think I'll ever know enough at any point. It's always there's something to learn that improves what you do. And again, taking those criticisms and as well as the plaudits on board is the criticisms are the more important ones, because that's how you improve, isn't it? By taking them and then improving on those points. I was going to ask though, Rob, what was the sort of the background to the name Smart Monkey? What was the story behind that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, he's just here. This is my motivation for Smart Monkey, was this little monkey here who has been beside me the whole time whenever I make any music. And I had this kind of monkey theme going on in my head, and I was like thinking, what should I call myself? And Smart Monkey just happened to be there. So that little man up there who's watching down on me at the moment is my inspiration for Smart Monkey.
Well, I mean, that is awesome, because Carl and I, we love props. We love props. We do have the Owl of Judgment, and as you know, the Purple Bowl of Destiny as well.
We do. The Owl of Judgment, the Owl of Scowl. All those things. It's we'll bring him on later, I'm sure.
It's really good.
It's just real at the moment.
Yeah, he was bobbing his head to a couple of the Christmas songs. The other show, I can't remember. Oh no, we definitely released the Christmas one later on. from episode 21. So do you have any anything that you are working on right now, or let me ask it this way: do you prefer doing singles, or do you prefer, or are you trying to actually create a full album?
No, that's a really good question. I create a whole range of different tracks. I just cannot help but want to keep on creating music. Some of them, they're awful. I don't even release them, and I keep them well hidden. But other ones, they resonate well with me. And then what I try to do is I'll hold back on certain ones. I won't release them immediately. And what I try to do is then get a theme. If I feel like there's a theme going on, then that's what I'll push into albums. I still feel there's a place for albums. I know albums seem a bit old-fashioned these days, but I think we're missing an element where we've just got maybe a playlist that you're hearing, and it's based on a theme, and the artists all sound very similar based on a theme. Whereas when you're doing an album, you can sort of mix it and change it so that your music style is moving a bit along a particular track. And I definitely still feel there's a place for an album. So right now I'm working on one. I'm releasing the tracks because that's what you just tend to do these days. You tend to release a lot more singles because that hopefully keeps the interest going, and you're getting those views and people coming and revisiting you. But I still ultimately aim to get an album together by the end of it, a 10 to 12 track album, and it hopefully has a kind of theme running through it. So I've got a whole bunch of work in the pipeline at the moment. Some of it's not quite ready yet. I still got to mix it down and produce it better, and some I'm purposely holding back because I just don't feel they particularly work on my forthcoming album. So yeah, that theme will run in my next album. So I've probably got about 2-3 albums in my head moving forwards, even though I'm not there yet.
It's good to have. I think the album idea, I don't think it's dead at all, actually. It's although the youngsters do tend to flit about between individual tracks. But the thing is, as Tom and I have discussed before, it's things like Pink Floyd, you have to listen to them really as, okay, you can listen to Money as a separate track perhaps, but yeah, there are certain songs you can, but actually it's a better experience as an album. And actually, as you're both into sort of synth and electronica, I will give you a little heads up. There's a guy called Henrik Linder, and it's H57 is the act, and he's just released an album called Odyssey. I'm a bit old fashioned. I still buy it on iTunes. I've just bought it actually the other day, and that's one that's a sort of like in a very Jean-Michel Jarre Oxygen way, or Equinox. It's just like Odyssey 1, Odyssey 2, Odyssey 3, all the way through. And I think you'll probably like it because basically his influences are Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis, Rick Wakeman, Mike Oldfield, Kraftwerk, and all the greats. And it just sounds like a fusion of all of them. It's brilliant. So that's my little sort of tip for the day on that one. But I think both of you are probably and probably Justine at Wayward Waves would probably like this as well. It's really good. But I think the concept of the album, particularly if you've got a nice theme through it, and sometimes if the tracks are kind of segued, I do think there's still a place for it. There's still an audience out there that want to hear that sort of thing.
Definitely.
I still like full albums. We've talked about them on the show a couple of times. Muse with Simulation Theory. If you listen to one song as opposed to the rest of the album, the singular song will make you lose kind of focus on what the album is actually talking about. So I do enjoy albums. I do enjoy albums, and that's why I waited so long with my last one, which was Implant. I wanted to release everything all together rather than doing it song by song. I understand the need for singles, but I do definitely enjoy albums as well. So you heard it straight from the monkey's mouth here, folks. Listen to albums. Albums are great. They are good. And so we had a bit of it was a difficult task. It was a difficult task coming up with our nominees for the best music of the 2022s, because we have listened to so much of it, and there were so many fantastic artists that we had to listen to. If you figure 21 shows, plus the specials. We've had 25 shows in that case, and through the 25 shows, that would be 10 shows per episode. So we have listened to 250 tracks. Out of 250 tracks, picking what's 8 times 4? 32. Picking 32 tracks was nothing short of basically a miracle here. So we have a couple of categories. So here's how the show format's going to work, folks. We're going to get the nominations in. That will be come up on a completely separate screen. We'll kind of like give our 2 cents about it, and then we'll move to the next category. So our first category today is going to be Best Metal Song. And the nominees for Best Metal Song are Mikky, what did you think of Stasis Engage?
I liked this. So, sort of metal and heavy rock for me. Traditionally, back in my youth, I wasn't a big fan, and again, it's one of those things that's just grown on me as time's gone by. But I made some notes on it, and it actually does, oddly enough, remind me of some of the sort of early 80s bands, and probably earlier than that, to be honest, and elements of Iron Maiden in there with the riffs, and even though the vocals aren't like that, the actual sort of underlying rock element of it does hark back to those sort of retro rock bands. So I really enjoyed it. You know, for me, the vocals were a little bit drowned on when I was listening to it, just a little bit, just a slight touch. So, you know, bringing them out would have been even better for me. But yeah, I really like this one just because it had a bit of a retro feel to it.
Carlos Fandango, what say you, sir?
It did have a bit of a retro feel about it. So I think that was the Steppenwolf Born to Be Wild type of driving rhythm that we could probably hear there. Yeah, I don't know if a lot was happening, but it was yeah, could have probably developed a bit more, I think. But yeah, it definitely had a retro feel about it.
For me, Stasis, it really, you know, brought me back into the 90s, where I was really thinking about, you know, Faith No More and 9 Inch Nails. It really gave me that vibe. And for those, I'm not going to give too many comments on it, because for those that have watched the 1s and 2s Underground, then they know my comments on it. And it's a shame that we didn't find this one on the Underground Sound, because then we would have a nice kind of like plethora of words here to say about the song, but I figure we'll get it out of the way now. So, Mr. Monkey, Smart, what do you think, Rob?
Ouch! It's metal, isn't it?
It is proper metal, and these happen to be fellow countrymen of yours as well.
It lives up to what you'd expect from that style of music. So the growling vocals are there. You got your angry guitar playing there. I think it's got plenty there to keep the metal fans happy. I did note we didn't quite get there, but when I listened to it earlier on, there was some quite nice slide effects in there at the end, and he does a little bit of a kind of echoey vocal towards the end just to break it a little bit, which I really liked. So but I mean, metal for me is an acquired taste. That it's not something that I typically listen to, but I didn't mind it, actually, to be honest.
Carlos Fandango.
Yeah, I was trying to listen to it, but I was also trying at the same time. I thought, well, I'll try and get some sort of one of my little throat sweets so I can last the night. And what I did in the end, I saw my hand cream. I had a bit of hand cream disaster. I didn't realize there was so much. So I did try and listen to the song, but I thought there's only a little bit of hand cream left. I went like that and put my finger in it. A big blob of it comes because I cut down the edge when it gets less, and it went splat on my leg. And so if you saw me frantically sort of messing around, that's what I was doing. I was listening to it though. It's got a bit of a bite of what's it called? Motorhead type bite to it, musically. But the singing. I was curious to think actually, who was the first band to start singing like that? Because so many bands now sing like that, and it just makes me think there must have been loads of people around in the 70s and 60s and the 80s before that started, because it's probably Napalm Death or someone like that, but there were probably loads of singers that could never sort of feel like they had a place, and then suddenly it's like that their world must have opened up, because they could suddenly go and all this sort of and you think, well, was that how they were singing all the time, or is it just that they sing like that because of this thing that they're doing now?
I have to think that it has a bit. I think that I have to think that style of singing has a little bit of punk origin to it. You know what I mean? Because punk was kind of like, I mean, when you're talking about different genres of music, punk really was like a way different genre of music in its time when it came about, right? So I have to think that kind of like that deep throatiness of everything had to have come from punk. I don't know. I mean, Napalm Death, you had Motorhead was very throaty as well. So it was
I suppose so. But all the same, you could still hear Lemmy what he was singing as well.
Yeah.
So
but it
was throaty, but it wasn't kind of what a lot of these you can't kind of distinguish the lyrics, can you? Because it's
no
distinct, is it?
Oh yeah, I've listened to some of the songs where Rob and I were talking about movies earlier, and I was telling him your story where you were watching a Scottish movie, but you were watching it with subtitles because you couldn't understand. So it's like one of those things. If you think back to kind of like 90s Metallica, as opposed to kind of like when Metallica started coming out with Saint Anger, for example, right? The lyrics started getting a lot deeper, the music started getting a lot different, so they basically transitioned kind of from like let's say metal to more of a death metal kind of vibe to it, right? So I think it's always been there. I think it's at one point it just became popular, and that was the thing. But with Wrath of Amari, I gotta say that when I was initially starting up the podcast idea, these were some of the first chaps that I had talked to, and this was one of the first songs that I had listened to on Slaps, and really nice guys, and they're just all about the music, and they're just kind of like doing their local kind of like pubs and everything like that. So they're truly into their music, and I think for a quote unquote bedroom production, I think it's actually done quite nicely. Our third nomination of the day, Crashing Puppets, Sacculina. Mr. Smart Monkey, take it away.
Yeah, that's probably more up my street as a sort of rock sort of track would go. I really like that. Bit more of a sort of more commercial mainstream feel to that one. I'm trying to think. There's a band that it reminded me of. And I saw someone put Strokes up there, and it wasn't the Strokes, but there was another band very similar to it, and I just can't recall who it is at the moment. But there are elements of them that I could hear in this, and yeah, sort of big in the 2000s, and don't hear so much of that these days. So it's good to hear that kind of music back there again. That's what I think underground sound do really well. You know, we don't get opportunity to hear these things in the mainstream music that much anymore. Whereas, you know, what you bring to our ears again is really good, because it just reminds you and takes you back to I was going to say to how music used to be and should be, but that's just a different time, isn't it?
I just agree with you. I think it's true. I do think it's how it should be, and you know, it's music's got to evolve and keep changing. But these, you know, this it's a sort of retro sounding song, but it's a brand new song, and it does sound like things. It's got its roots in and reference points there, but it's a new song, and that's what's good about it. Really, it's there's still room for older styles of music, but brand new songs. I think with this one, I wasn't sure whether to put it into the rock. When I realised there was also a rock category afterwards, I probably should have put it in there, really, and then maybe put Eric Suave in, who deserves a mention, in the heavy metal, because it's not a traditional metal one, and as Rob says, it's a more commercially viable sort of heavy rock number.
Almost an indie element to it myself, but
yeah, definitely a bit of that to it, isn't it? The indie element. Maybe it was the Killers. I can't remember who it was. There was something that we'd heard in it before that we thought it sounded like a bit like Blur Song 2 in a way. There's a few other things. There's a sort of melding of styles, but I really like that one. It's got a lot of energy.
Well, for me, it definitely reminded me of a little bit of Sublime. It reminded me kind of like of the White Stripes. And, you know, there's a little bit of elements of everything to it in there. The big thing for me about that song, especially, is that it's really poppy. It's high, you know, it's high energy. It's kind of like whether you're listening to it on the radio or whether you're seeing them in concert. You know, if you're seeing them in concert, a mosh pit's going to open up. You know, it's like one of those things. But you know, in your car, you're going to definitely be pumping it. It's a feel good kind of song, and that's really what we're looking for. As far as the mentioning goes of it being commercially viable, it is commercially viable. It 100% is commercially viable. It should be played on the radio, as a lot of the songs that we have here on the Underground Sound. And I appreciate that compliment also, Rob, is that that's what we try to do here at the Underground Sound, is bring these artists forward, because this is music that we should be hearing, I personally think. And whether it brings back nostalgic memories or whether you think that it fits into this era of time that we're in right now, it still is great music to listen to. And our fourth nomination of the metal category, we have Black Meta with Quid Pro Quo. Mr. Monkey, let us know about Quid Pro Quo.
I like that. I just seen someone's comment there. To me, that had a lot of element of punk in there, and I used to love punk. I'm not quite sure what they were singing about, but the vibe of it and everything had more of a punk element to me. You could just want to sort of jump up and down on that. I liked it.
Yeah, again, it's a sort of heavy rock and punky sort of vibe.
Yeah,
and again, I wasn't sure, because we haven't had a lot of metal songs, like pure metal. And I really, as I mentioned in before, Eric Suave's Miles to Live, I should probably have put that in there, because it is more purist retro metal. And there were others I guess we could have put in there, but I just felt this one had that sort of more punky than rocky vibe, so I put it into the metal sort of thing. It's such a catchy upbeat song, even though it's in another language.
In these times, we do find a lot of genres melding together, you know, and I think that's really important, actually, because, you know, it does then almost take music somewhere else, and it's quite nice to hear these different elements in these modern tracks. So we sort of said, you know, we go back to the past and the nostalgic side of a piece of music, but then when you hear two styles of music molding together into something new. It's pretty exciting, really.
It is, because the other thing is as well, I think it's important that, because so many bands and acts label themselves and put themselves in a little box in a little corner of a room, rather than just saying, right, I'm the artist and I'm going to put my stamp on whatever music I do. It's going to be my sound, whether I do heavy metal or pop or whatever it's going to be, or reggae or whatever, but it's going to have my sound. That's the important bit, is to not box yourself into one genre only, as many people do. I say that, but then it's probably, in some respects, it's better, because if you do that, because then you can appeal to that market specifically and stay within that market and please that audience. For me, though, I like variety, so I would encourage people to fuse different aspects together of all the types of music that they love. Do the music you love.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that is a little bit of my music there. I kind of mold a lot of different genres together, and one of the biggest problems I have is whenever I try to promote it, it's like, what genre do I put this in? I just don't know. Sometimes I've got heavier breakbeat sort of bass stuff, sometimes it's more chilled, but it, you know, underlying it all is my sound. And you know, I feel for some of these different bands out there now where they are molding it together. How do you sometimes categorize your music, and do you want to? You know, sometimes you just want to be different, but you're kind of, how do you put it into some kind of filing cabinet and say that's what it is? You know, yeah, it's difficult.
It is. That's for sure. Yeah, kind of thinking about the metal trend is basically like kind of like what Carl and we were talking about a second ago here was the fact that, you know, you would clump like Motorhead and Metallica and Megadeth and everything like kind of like in there, but it's nice to see bands doing what they're doing, which is one of the ideas that I had is I wanted to create this contest, right? Which was the Way Too Sexy to Imagine contest. Carl remembers this. I talked about it quite a bit. But the thing is that so Way Too Sexy by Drake would be made into a cover by alternative rock and rock bands and everything. So they would take this hip hop format song and they would make it their own in the kind of like in the rock and metal category. And then Imagine by John Lennon would be turned into a hip hop / rap song. And so each of those people would make it their own as well, right? So I thought that was a really nifty idea, because music should be available to basically to everybody, and everybody should have the right to make it their own. And I really thought, especially in the hip hop sense, that that we can make some great music there. That contest may make a comeback once we get the radio station back up again. But I agree with you guys, is that it's really difficult to lump something into one category here, because something may seem rockish to some, it may seem punkish to others, and then it may seem metal to others. But for all intents and purposes here on the Underground Sound, it'll be in the metal category, because well, that's just how we feel like fucking doing things tonight. All right. So this song, I'll actually let you guys listen to the entire thing. We'll play the entirety of this song, as I thought that it was a great song. It's by a gentleman named Mikky Malice, who owns Splatterdash Studios, not too far away from me in Newport Richey. Had a chance to sit down with him one time and chat, and his music was featured on the 1's and 2's. So this is an honorable mention. So those were our 4 nominees. This is an honorable mention for Mikky Malice with A Sinner's Requiem. Enjoy. Sinners Requiem, right there by Mikky Malice. Smart Monkey, what say you, sir?
Oh, that was solid bit of heavy metal there. I really like that.
He
To
actually,
me,
if you meet him in
actually-
person, he looks like he gives off this Rob Zombie vibe. Like when you look at him, you know, he's wearing this big kind of like leather, kind of like cowboy hat. You know, he's got the boots on and everything, and it's just he definitely gives off that vibe.
Oh, it's cracking. I really like that one, actually. Really like that one. That to me is a solid sort of heavy metal track.
Yeah, exactly that. It did feel like a heavy metal track. Lots of energy. Did you? Because you said sort of Requiem, and I've only ever known it as Requiem, but I've noticed it was pronouncing it Requiem. And,
Yeah.
and I thought, is that how you pronounce it?
Just like Vitamin and Pocket Watch. Yes, it's
Oh, so that's an American thing, is it? Requiem.
it's different here. Yes, it's Requiem. Yes.
Right. Okay. I was just curious. That's all. Just decided. I was thinking, is he saying Requiem?
I was.
Not you, but the song, and then you did as well.
Yes, it is Requiem. Yes.
Yeah, Requiem.
Yeah. It's like the Vitamin thing, you know. It's just it's silly. Vitamin. Like I came up with a joke later on. I'm like, oh, you know, because I was remembering Randy buys a bookshelf off of Gumtree, and it was just like a Vitamin. Vitamin sounds like a butler's name, like Vitamin. Polish the goldfish, please. We're expecting company this evening. You know. But that was our honorable mention right there for the metal category. Sinners Requiem by Mikky Malice. If you are in Newport Richie somewhere, then by all means check out Splatter Studios. Mikky is a great guy, and it's a great place to record or perform live, for that matter, if you've got anything going on like that. So big kind of studio, proper kind of studio, and everything like that. So just thought that we should probably mention that as we move on to our second category. And our second category will be Best Pop Song today. And the nominees are...
Are we doing any jokes?
Oh yeah, we'll get to the joke. I forgot about that. I totally did. Even though I have the tab open up here. This is why I was telling Rob earlier. I need a third screen here. Did you want to get to the jokes now?
Well, I was thinking in between things. At least it sort of keeps it.
I was thinking the same thing at first. Also,
that's what you'd have at an award ceremony: is somebody roasting people. Not we're doing that, but you know, somebody roasting people each time in between the awards to keep it, because when you're doing just awards, it can be a bit grueling, can't it? I mean, when it's the Oscars or Emmys or something, you know, that's probably why they have somebody as an hosting it. What are they called?
The MC, Master of Ceremonies.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, so we'll get to this one then. Since Nathan Brashear said that we have absolutely no career in comedy ahead of us. What did the champagne bottle call his father?
I would like to guess this one. No, actually, it's in front of me right now, so I won't say it.
Did you pull up the same goddamn jokes as I did?
Well, I went for one because I thought you'd go for the top one, so I've gone for a couple of ones down.
So is your top one, Why Do Birds Fly South?
No.
Okay. So why do birds fly south in the winter?
I don't know.
Because it's too fucking far to walk, Carl.
What's a cow's favorite holiday?
Oh my god.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Okay. Rob, care to chime in, Rob?
So what's the answer to the champagne one then? Tell us, put us out of our misery.
Oh, yeah. So what did the little champagne bottle call his father? The answer is Pop.
Of course. Where can you find comedians on New Year's Eve?
Oh boy.
Waiting for the punchline.
Oh,
no. Oh, the punchline.
At the Underground Sound. That's where.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah. That's where you can find comedians, solid comedians going on.
Yeah.
Solid comedy going on here at the Underground Sound today for our New Year's special. And let's do this. Ready? Our second category of nominations is Best Pop Song, and the nominees are
Don't concern yourself with something that you've never felt. Wanna dance with you, might just take a chance with you. No time to light me up, I'm high enough, it's all in the now. Just feeling through the rush, can't fight it off, get lost in the sound.
Girl, he just wanted to mess around. Nothing special, or you're just for fun. Can't you see? He belongs to me. He gave you flowers, baby, I own his heart. He says he loves you, all his flying, I'm sure. Can't you see? Did he forget about me?
Boy walking the world in the rain, and I'm hoping she's doing the same. She's a lost girl waiting for the weather to change, and she's only ever passing the blame. And her words all empty, blissful, carefree. She never turned around when I begged her to stay. She got me standing trial, though I'm not guilty, and then she walks away. It's all about the weather, and then you come along. You can do no wrong. And then you come along. You can do no wrong. Pouring over sheets of words, I'm feeling kind of hazy.
It's quite a shame that we're only listening to clips of these songs, but I mean, obviously we need to streamline the show here. Mr. Smart Monkey, what'd you think? Our number one selection.
Yeah, I like this. Now I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this. I don't know if anyone's fans of Eurovision and the Eurovision contest, but I'm a big fan of Eurovision. And latterly, some of the tracks have gotten better in my mind. There's always going to be cheesy ones in there, but this one was a solid pop song, and it really reminded me of like a Eurovision entry, but not in a derogatory sort of way. I just thought it was really well polished. Vocals were just excellent. They were really strong and just a real sort of good upbeat poppy song that could stand its ground easily in a contest like that. Yeah, it's really good, actually, to be honest. Again, I say it again. Why are these already not already famous? These are solid, talented artists. It's good.
Mr. Fandango, we've talked about it many of times. Is why is Sylas Dean not a superstar yet?
Yeah, he's certainly got the image, and I know that some of his social media is very sort of polished, sort of properly photographed stuff, if you know what I mean. So I like the underwater shot there, and the music's pretty well polished as well. I like this song. I think he's capable of doing a lot more, that's for sure. He's got quite a good pop voice, contemporary voice and style. There's an element of the song that with me, I just would slightly adjust, but actually it's a good production. But there's one little element that does jar with me slightly, and I won't say what it is because it will annoy you probably if I do. But actually, I think he's really good. He's certainly a pop star in the making, it feels like. But it does surprise you sometimes. These things you think, well, so ticks the box with a good voice, good recording voice, doing pop music, electro synth pop music. He's got a good image. He's on social media. You think, well, what else can he do? What more can he do? And all we can do is do our bit and play the music. And but you do wonder why some people aren't signed up.
That is for damn sure, because I think that song had not only that song, but the rest of the album. The name of the album is called American Dreaming, DREEMING. But I mean, it's all like super like top notch tracks that are out there, and as you mentioned, Carl, like the the photography is there, the look is there, the voice is there, especially for a male singer doing pop music. I think that his voice is absolutely superb. You know, I would love to know your grievance, honestly, because I have absolutely.
Oh, okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's when that bit goes, that bit, you know, that
Yeah.
it goes. It might be a deliberate thing, but because of the effect has got a slight delay on it, it goes slightly out of time with the rhythm. It's a little bit rushed. It might be that it was played in, I don't know, or it might be the effect, or it might be that it can't be manipulated, but I would have it a bit more on the beat because it throws the beat out. If you listen to it really carefully, it goes out slightly, it feels rushed. It's as if someone's played it in but not quantized it. And I don't need everything to be quantized precisely. It's good to have a little bit of looseness, but it's just a little bit out on a couple of them. They come in a bit quick. That's all. And it jars with me because the sound is a bit too prominent. I would have it a bit lower in the mix as well, that sound.
Okay.
Just a stylistic thing for me. But it really bugs little details. Like I've said before about the guitar squeaks, don't mind them in moderation and rhythmically. But if there's too much and it's all the way through, it's just that's all I'm going to hear all the way through the song.
Just not too many. Okay, I got you. Hey, if that's what you picked up on, then that's what you picked up on.
And you know, where it's got like, shh, and I think it's also that I'm bugged. I'm thinking, what is the sound? What is that? Yeah, because sometimes you can get the sound, or it's meant to be a distinctive sound, but it's almost like someone.
No, it's
sort of sniffing or something. I don't know what. Somebody's gone up to the mic and I don't know. Something's happened there. But
it's actually him saying shake.
Is it really?
Yes, he's saying shake, 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 shake.
Oh, right. So that's something you can
what
potentially move and maneuver, but it just needs that. So is he producing his own stuff or is it being produced? What's the
if I recall the interview that we did correctly, we only had a written interview, but he does have an outside producer that's actually doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is what it is. What it sounds like. So again, it could come off a little bit different than it does, here on the live session as it does on an MP3. But if you listen to it, especially on the WAV file, you'll hear it very, very clearly and very significantly that what he's saying is shake, 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 shake.
Well, I listened to it earlier briefly but I had it on the Bose separate speaker. Just to quickly run through it to refamiliarize myself with it. But just a rhythmic thing. That's all. And I think a producer. Those are the kind of small details that need to be attended to that make a big difference, because that if it throws the rhythm out too much, it does for me, but it doesn't for anybody else. Obviously, it's only me being picky, but I am super picky on the details and at times, and I think it's really important to get those small details right.
It didn't bother me one bit. Rob, did it bother you?
There was a track, and I don't know if it's that one where it sounded like there was a bit of a noise on there, but I don't know if it was that one. So I'm going to have another listen, which is going to be good for him because he gets another play. And and I'm going to have another listen and see if it was that one, because if it is, I might know what Carlos is saying there, because there was one track that had it seemed a little bit of a noise to it, but.
All right.
Well, I'll give it another listen.
You were supposed to say no. It doesn't bother me.
No.
Okay, there you go.
I didn't hear it. No.
This next track's going to be fuck Carlos. Fuck Carlos.
Nominee number 2. That was mine, either by Maram or CRVCK, featuring Maram. But in either case, Smart Monkey, what'd you think, my man?
Yeah, I like this one. I keep saying that though, because you have picked some really good tracks throughout this. But I love the sort of lush pads that are going through and the sort of strings that are going through this. There's like a Celeste piano that sits on the top of it, or some kind of like piano bell like sound that rides over the top of it all, which is really sort of just quite chilled and dreamlike. Really, the whole overall effect of it is dreamlike, even though it's a melancholy sort of track. Reminded me a bit of Billie Eilish in the vocals side of it, with and I don't know, you might shoot me down for this, but a little bit of Amy Winehouse feel to it, even though it's not that raw sort of kind of pure Amy Winehouse vocal. There's just that kind of way she sings some of those lyrics, and especially the line with "Don't mess around with my baby." It just reminded me a bit of Amy Winehouse. Yeah, really good vocals again.
Carlos Vanego, what say you, sir?
Well, I agree. It was good vocals actually, and I like the octave. And I've meant to mention that about the Sylas Dean. What I really did like about that is he had a very low vocal underneath the supporting the main lead vocal in places, as this did as well. Plus, it had that sort of a subtle vocoder effect going on. Unless her voice has got that kind of timbre, and it's just like that. But the supporting harmony is very good. Yeah, good electronica sort of pop song. Yeah, it's certainly contemporary sort of sound. I couldn't place who the vocals sound like. Possibly it is the Amy Winehouse, possibly a bit of Madonna in some of her, because she's got a sort of slightly lower vocal register. So, don't know really, but it's a good song. I liked it. I certainly listened to it again.
Yeah, no, for me, it's one of those songs that are kind of like transportive. You know what I mean? They take you away into a different plane. Like when you listen to this song, you kind of like really focus on it, and you get like kind of like drug away into this into this different world. So I completely agree with both of you, whether it be Amy Winehouse or Madonna or Billie Eilish for that matter. I could see either one of those artists creating the song, but it's nice that Maram has her own style going on here with her vocals. And what I loved especially in this one, myself particularly, because I like bass, was the overall compression in the drums, and just the backing bass, the little sub bass that was added behind the kick drum as well. It's like ba-boom, ba-boom. It's really, I think it's really, as Carl would say, slick production. So I think it's a really nice slick production accompanied with great vocals, and I think that that's really why it made the cut for the best pop song here, in my opinion. So yeah, don't feel bad about saying that it's good. We did try to pick the best of the best here. So saying that it's good is, yeah. Here we go.
I feel super bad because I feel like I've been critical today, which I'm not normally. I'm not normally overly critical. Whereas
no, not at all.
Rob's become the Louis Walsh. I've become the Simon Cowell. So Tom, you must be the Sharon Osbourne.
I guess I got to be the voice of reason here, because I don't know. It is kind of strange where we're departing from the critiqueness of the show that we usually have, and Carl's just bashing fucking everything.
They got this far, they can take it.
Oh, he must be ill at this point. Maybe it was the hand cream. Maybe it was the fact that the hand cream spilled all over him. So
well, I've got this big. Well, actually, I think it might dry up okay, but it's a bit of a sort of splat on my trousers, so it does look a bit bad. And it was a big white splat at one point, so it's now.
I don't think you want to be saying that after you've just been playing with hand cream, my friend. Moving on to our third nomination here.
Oh, don't forget the jokes.
No, we're gonna do.
I'm sure our audience in between each one, they're gonna want us to.
I thought we were gonna do that in between categories.
Oh, is it?
I thought that's like what you said, is we're gonna do it in between categories.
That's a lot of jokes we're gonna get through.
Wasn't that just a category just then?
No, that was only the second nomination in the second category.
Oh yes, sorry. I'm just so keen to,
There's still
stand-up comedian.
Oh, you must have a good one lined up. All right, well.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, I'll be expecting you to bring the goods. Right now, our third nomination in the best pop song category is a group called Meet Me at the Bus Stop with a song called Lost. Meet Me at the Bus Stop with Lost, Mr. Monkey.
Yeah, that had a kind of a Britpop feel to that one. I like that kind of, he's got that Brit vocal coming through. It's got a little cheeky element to it, and quite a good upbeat, lifting song. I can almost hear that one in the summer. That would be a good summer song. And like I say, almost like a cheeky element to it. I kind of like that. Yeah, Britpop.
Yeah, that one's certainly got it's a sort of foot tapping, head nodding, finger drumming catchy song. And I think when I first heard it, I was thinking, well, it's that sort of contemporary modern Brit vocal that's got the accent in, that sort of almost lazy style. And there's a lot of bands that I think, oh god, it's so overused, and I wanted to not like it, if you know what I mean, because it's normal sort of thing. I think, oh, okay, same old, same old. But actually, do you know, I can't help really loving that song because it's just so catchy. It's melodic. It's got some good harmonies, and we talk about the ebb and flow factor and all that one, and it sort of stop starts. It's got nice guitaring in it. Love it. Love the production on that one. Really like that one.
Yeah, no, the production quality is solid. That's kind of like why what we were listening to here is I let it play through the guitar solo there, because I think that the guitar solo with the with the little kind of like backing vocals that were going on there were pretty spot on. So it was a great song overall, nice production, summer vibe, as Monkey had mentioned there. You know what I mean? Crank it up in your car, you're driving around, you're listening to it. You know, you got your arm out the window, sunglasses on, wind blowing through.
Through what?
Your
what, Tom?
Your hat.
It'll blow through for Rob. Not for us.
It'll go through for Rob, yes. Oh, it could go through Rob's hair, which is you know, so
you're describing Rob's summer day out.
Yes, that's exactly what I was doing. Is Rob's got his arm out the window, sunglasses on, you know. With this arm actually is what he's driving, right? So it would be this way in England.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Whereas over here, you know, I'd be driving along and, you know, stick my head out the car to get the wind, and somebody would say, "God, all the sun's shining off your head. So calm it down."
Blinding. It's blinding. All right. That was our third nomination. Our fourth nomination is Luke H. Reynolds with The Perfect Song. Smart Monkey. Take it away.
Oh, it seems so brutal to end them, doesn't it? Partway through, you're not getting into it, and then it's yeah, another good song, another good pop song there. Quite a few little effects going on there, subtly underneath it all. You got that like a filter or a phaser drum that sort of comes through it. Strong guitar coming through. Yeah, it was good. It was reasonable track. I don't know if it's me on my headphones, but it was a little bit, or whether it was played a bit louder. That one just seemed a little bit more up in the volumes, but it could just be my headphones on that one. But
no, that one had a little bit more oomph to it. I think, as Carl and I know that Luke had worked with a proper producer on this song. So, Mr. Fandango, take it away, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's that was Luke's first song that he had written and released himself after building up a fan base, after doing lots of covers on TikTok, and cover live broadcasts on TikTok and things. And and he was encouraged to actually put out his own song, and did that one, Perfect Song. Well, I think his voice is a very good recording voice. It's but the production is top notch, and the subtlety of the, as you say, the effect. I must learn how to do that as well. Is that sort of the effect where it's sort of what I call blurry in the background, and then it comes into focus. Is the same thing in sound wise, that happens there. It's a very modern, well used production technique as well. Probably overused as well, but it works there. Lots going on. I love the organ in that as well. It's nice, subtle, sort of retro sound, always retro flavors. But I think actually it's a really nice song. It's a good, solid pop song. And again, he's sort of in the ascendancy. He's the kind of artist that I think could be signed up very easily, with a decent deal there, I should think.
Yeah, Luke for sure. He has been at TikTok headquarters to perform, and that was obviously his first track right there in a pro kind of like recording establishment. He does have live stuff going on TikTok as well. He's almost up to 40,000 followers on TikTok. So he's making waves. He's definitely making waves in the music world. And I just got to say, is my 2 cents on this song is that for a first initial recorded song, like where's he going to go with the next one? You know what I mean? So props to Luke H. Reynolds right there with the perfect song. It is definitely one of those perfect summertime songs as well, like what we were just talking about. Let's leave the hair out of this one here. All right, we'll take our honorable mention here for our pop category. Those were our 4 nominations for the best pop song. Our honorable mention here for the pop category is Vitamin Dream, otherwise known as Vitamin Dream in America. This one is called Another World, Another Planet. Check it out.
track of time. We lost our mind. Where we going now? Must be a coincidence. Where we heading now? Must be destiny. On our way to the stars. We've gone too far.
Oh, vitamin. Oh, vitamin. Vitamin Dream. Am I on or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
We're just listening to you.
Sorry, my bad. I thought I missed the knob here or something like that. Smart Market, Vitamin Dream.
Oh, I love that. That's my kind of track. But so many layers going on there, so many like clever little incidental sounds, and yeah, I just love that sort of music.
So
good.
maybe you can
Cool.
help us out with that because Carl and I, Carl had posed the question, and the person that I was thinking of that we could compare the lyrics to was Annie Lennox. Later on, after the show, once I listened to it a second time, I was thinking I don't remember who the singer was in Enigma, but I was thinking about her voice or possibly Enya as well. So where would you place the vocals at? The lyrics.
Before you answer that, I was thinking actually, I'm sure I heard something earlier. Was it You're Not Alone? The late 90s? There was a song called You're Not Alone.
By Michael Jackson.
Yeah. No, I
No.
know the one you mean. You're
Yeah.
not alone.
I'll look it up.
That sounded
So
just
good.
like her then as well.
So what do you think vocally that sounds like?
Now I've got like a vocalist, but so I don't know if you remember Cocteau Twins,
Ah, yeah.
and they had that kind of real sort of classic feel to the way they sang, and I get the Enya, although it's a little bit more mellow for me than Enya, but yeah, it's that kind of dreamy, kind of really classical vocal sitting across a very good piece of electronic music. And I just loved it because he had so much going on there. To me, what I love about that sort of music is the things that are going on underneath. There were so many different little incidental noises and effects and sounds whooshing in and out of there that I just love that sort of stuff.
I'm with you on it completely. It's just the beat and the melody really just transport you somewhere else. The vocals just add that extra air that's needed there. Yeah,
because if you listen to the beat is fairly repetitive, and it just goes through. It's those other sounds that make that variation go through that track, and I love all that sort of stuff.
Right.
It was Olive, by the way. You're Not Alone.
Yeah.
Olive. That kind of reminded me of that. I think last time we heard it, I was sort of likening it a little bit to maybe Madonna again, funny enough. But I think that was, for me, more, that's how I would describe synth pop. I mean, not just pop, but more of a synth pop, electronica sort of song.
Yeah, electro pop sort of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So that was, but it's a really good song, and I love those deep sort of sounds and things. And it's just got a lot going on, and I think it's quite understated as well. I quite like the way it just sort of flows through, and it just sort of, again, it's not overdone at any point. It's not too much and it's not too little either. It's minimalist, but it's approached in the right kind of way. I think it's good, really good.
But it takes you on a journey still, and I think that's so important. I mean, that's what I try to do when I write my tracks. Is they take you from one place to another, and they do it quite subtly as they go along. And yeah, I just love that. I thought it was bang on my kind of music.
Okay. Those were our nominations and our honorable mention for our best of pop category there. So what happened when an iPhone and a firework were arrested on New Year's Eve?
Don't know. Go on.
One was charged and the other was let off.
Oh, wow. Why do you need a jeweler on New Year's Eve?
I don't know, Carl.
To ring in the new year. God.
They're horrible.
This one. This is better. What do farmers give their wives at midnight on New Year's Eve? Hugs and kisses. Pretty bad. I don't know where to go from there.
I really don't know either. So
that was pretty awful. came a cropper with that one.
What is Corn's favorite holiday?
Oh, what favorite holiday?
What is Corn's favorite holiday? Corn.
Just seen that one. Oh, dear.
I don't know. What is a Corn's favorite holiday?
It's a New Year's Ear.
Cool. Oh, New Year's Eve, is it?
New Ears. Sorry.
Yeah, don't give up the day job there.
Not even sure the punchline was quite there.
I totally missed it. Totally fucking overshot that one. It's just because I didn't want to look at it anymore, man.
It's that bad. Oh, there's also things on here like it's not really a joke, but it's a sort of a thing, where they say things. So there's a couple of those on there as well. So youth is when you're allowed to stay up on New Year's Eve. Middle age is when you're forced to.
Yeah, I think
I'll leave those ones out. They're a bit crappy, aren't they?
I prefer the happy new you thing.
Happy New Year.
Happy year new.
Something like that. All right.
New Year's ears.
New Year's ears. Oh my goodness. All righty, folks. I forgot to mention it at the end of the last category here, but obviously hop down into the video descriptions below. Let us know which joke you like more. Okay, let us know which song you like more. This will determine what the best of the 2022s are. We still have 6 more categories to go. So we're not really like streamlining this, are we? But we're having a good time here. I'm having a great time. How about you, Carl?
Oh yeah, definitely, always very good.
Rob, you're laughing. You're turning red over there. You're having a good time.
It's the jokes. I live for the jokes.
That's the only reason Rob came on the show, was for the jokes. He saw the Christmas spectacular, and he was like, I gotta hop on board for the jokes. So in your face, Nathan, saying we don't have a career in comedy. All right.
I think he's laughing at us actually, rather than with us.
He might be. It's a jolly old time, as it were. So yeah. And our third category for the best of the 22. My God.
Whatever you do, don't stop halfway through the word country.
Oh my God, Carl. Carl had some hand cream, and now he's all types of jokes, isn't he?
Oh my super special magic comedy cream with the splooge on the pants. Okay, yeah, I'll put water on it now just to see if it goes off. That's worse.
That just makes it worse. All right. All right.
Well, I've got this light blue suit at work. I've just bought a light blue suit, and I don't know what possessed me. I mean, it's a nice suit. That's what possessed me to buy it, but it's light. And I realized now, I remembered the reason I don't have light suits is if you're washing your hands in a public or whatever, it spills, it looks bad. And but the problem is then you have to sort of subtly go to the hand dryer and sort of put yourself under the hand dryer as if you're wiping your hands, but actually drying your trousers. And it just looks like you're being weird by the hair dryer. I had to do that in a McDonald's recently as well.
That accidental water spilled down your trousers, I'm sure.
There you go. Right. So, what did you want to say about this category, Tom?
All right. So, for our third category for the best of the 22s is the best of country. Here are our nominees.
What's happening? Words of saints, demon deeds.
keeper of my heart, find your soul. Feel every kiss, give the passion of my love a place to flow. For you are the reason why I'm just a little shy to say I love you. Yes, I love you. I've been missing the bayous and all my favorite sports. That's why I'm leaving Fort Jackson and I'm heading back to Swartz. Gonna take a ride up and down good old John Muir Road. Drive my truck down the banks of the Washita. Stumble up the levee with a flask in my shorts. I'm leaving Fort Jackson and I'm heading back to Swartz.
Lethargics with Hey, Mr. Monkey.
Yeah, well, guitar. I mean, those little riffs that are playing there reminded me so much of Dire Straits and Mark Knopfler. And a little bit of the vocals at times. And then he goes into that sort of real gravelly vocal that he's got, which I love. I love that kind of old gravelly sort of sound that's really deep throated. And Johnny Cash in those latter years, when he had that sort of deep gravelly throat sound to him, I preferred that to his earlier stuff, oddly enough. Christopherson a bit as well. And then there's a guitar solo that, to me, almost felt like it was going into Brothers in Arms. It sounded so Dire Straits that you could almost hear it just going into Brothers in Arms. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. The guitar and those gravelly vocals just work so well together.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a Dire Straits sort of track, and you could hear it's almost Juliet, all the Romeo and Juliet thing, and you can hear Brothers in Arms heavily, as you say, in the guitar sound as well as the overall sound of the track and the vocals. Very Dire Straits influenced song, and it's funny because I've never really thought of Dire Straits as particularly country, but I suppose they are. You know, he's influenced by a lot of people, Chet Atkins and people like that. So in his playing, so that is definitely an influence, and that could be heard there. Yeah, it's nice, quite a nice sort of relaxed track. I mean, it wasn't a lot going on, but it was mainly revolving around that guitar sound, and those twangs and picks and plucks and riffs. So it's all right. It's good.
I think it was good. You know, I really didn't pick up on the Dire Straits feel until you guys had mentioned it here. My dad was actually the the first person that had gotten me into Dire Straits, especially Brothers in Arms. It was one of his favorite songs, favorite albums from them, and it was just I didn't think about it. I always just thought that it was very, very relaxing, very kind of laid back, like, you know, kick back on the out on the porch, and you're kind of like rocking chair, you know, have your beer there with you, or a drink with you, and just kind of like go like that. So I definitely thought it had a place to be the best, one of the best of the country songs of 22 here. On to our next one here. This is Solvivor, which I like also a lot, this song. Solvivor with Carolina Country Blues. Got that twanginess going on with Carolina Country Blues, Mr. Monkey.
Yeah, that's a good sort of classic country sound to that one, isn't it? I don't know, is it like a banjo or something that's going being plucked through there? Just great, sort of that kind of almost folky element that country has to it. It was a good track. I don't want to say line dancing because that's just stereotypical country blues, but you know, you can see people getting together and having a really good sort of shindig to that, a bit of a good old dance to that. You can imagine that live, some field, and everyone just getting into it and enjoying it, and maybe a bit of a line dance.
Very
it's definitely sort of good. Could be a great live track, and very Eagles, very Glenn Frey vocals. I love it when the Shakers come in, but it's a top top hole. I said top notch earlier, so I have to say top hole production. And no, it's really good production. This one, it's. I was listening to there's an Eagles track. Oh, I forgot what it's one of those nights, one of these nights, and there's so much going on in the production and just subtle stuff, because I was really listening to it this time around, having heard this recently, and we'd commented on its eagleness, and I think this one's just got so much going on there, and as the song develops, it really lifts off. You can sort of sense it taking off when those shakers come in. It really lifts a few feet off the ground and goes flying. So yeah, I think it's a really good, strong song, that one.
It's poppy, it's commercial, it's live. The comment that I had made during the show where we featured this song was it sounds like Bon Jovi to me, and anything that kind of like sounds like Bon Jovi is going to obviously bring in a crowd. And I totally agree with Rob's point here, is that you could get like a good line dance going here, or everybody just kind of like sitting there just cheering along and singing along with the song. It's definitely a song that's kind of like made for the for the masses, as it were. So yeah, liked it a lot. And moving on now to the number 3 song of the country category here, we have Lion J with "Yes I Love You." Mr. Monkey.
Yeah, I think I stumbled upon this one when I was playing Slap's tracks before, and it stood out to me back then. And it's all about those vocals. His vocals, I just love them. I just love the way that they're driving that track through, and they're is that sort of country to me. It has shades of country to it, but there's more of a sort of poppy element again to that. And yeah, I'd say it's just borderline country personally for me. But yeah, I definitely remember hearing this track before and just loving his vocals. And to me, that it was all about that. There's almost sort of a retro feel to those vocals again, actually, but don't want to hark on too much about retro.
Because we when I described it when we had it on the show fairly recently, actually, I sort of said if Roy Orbison was alive, this is one that he would do. This is his kind of song, and he was always sort of from a country background, but became sort of pop. So it is very much sort of pop country. And the thing is, a lot of country songs, years ago, it was they were so popular, and regular sort of pop music was, a lot of it was influenced by country, and country was in the charts a lot many years ago. So but this is what I described as a proper song. So it's nice, melodic, crafted song with a proper vocal. He's got a natural vibrato. When I played it to my dad, because I knew he'd like this one because he loves country, he loves Roy Orbison, and immediately he said Freddie Fender, and he's got that sort of Freddie Fender sound because he had that vibrato in his voice. So and I thought, yeah, that's the name that wouldn't come to mind on the night that we actually reviewed this song previously. But I love it, and the picking guitar thing, that's great.
Yeah.
I liked it just because it really sounded like that classic kind of country vibe to me. You know what I mean? Back when you're talking about like the 60s, 70s, 80s, kind of like this John Denver vibe and Willie Nelson and everything. Kind of like going into it. That's what it reminds me of. So definitely a feeling of nostalgia when this song plays. And overall, a very well produced song, very well made song, very well sung song. Lion J does have a great voice for this type of music. So this is why it made the list, really, to one of the best country songs. Is very nicely done overall. And we have one more. This would be number 4 for our nominees, and this is Eddie O'Hare with "Leaving Fort Jackson." A refresher there, Eddie O'Hare, "Leaving Fort Jackson." Smart Monkey, what's going on?
Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, did you muted your mic?
Sorry.
No,
I was coughing away in the background. I thought I'd better mute. Yeah, that to me is like a well, in my mind, a proper sort of country song. I was in a bar in Atlanta once, and there was a live country band playing, and it was very similar to that. And the vibe in that bar was just incredible, because that sound in a bar just translates so well, and you just couldn't sit still. And you know, that kind of music live is really good. So it just took me right back there for a moment. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great vibe, isn't it? It's got that retro vibe from Johnny Cash in the Sun Studio years, late 50s, early 60s kind of thing. Well, in fact, the sort of San Quentin and Folsom Prison live concerts that had exactly that kind of raw sound to it, rockabilly, hillbilly sort of sound. It's great. I love it. The energy in it and the way he delivers it, and that sort of very loose solo, the slightly sort of off note deliberately in there. It's great.
And you just know that translates so well to live in a sort of bar in a venue like that. It's just brilliant.
Yeah. Excellent.
I keep on thinking about the movies, right? And like going on this movie, if you imagine somebody just passing somebody's house in Kentucky with people playing on the washboard and having drugs out and everything, right? And then that's the song for it. It's kind of like a very kind of like stereotypical and kind of like a nostalgic feel to like this classic Americana kind of like country vibe to it, which I like it. And to your point, what you were talking about with people just kind of like going wild in the bar and just enjoying this, then that's definitely what I can picture with that song. And very well done. And once again, another song that deserves its spot on the best of country. So for the best of 22's. And we don't have an honorable mention for the country category just because we haven't like really listened to a ton of country songs. We've labeled a lot of songs as rock, and very few have actually come across as country. So we'll go right to the jokes, unfortunately. So why did Dracula pass out New Year's Eve?
Don't know why.
There was a countdown.
Oh, there was a countdown. Yeah. Knock, knock.
Oh my God, who's there?
Who's there?
Abby.
Abby who?
Abby New Year.
Oh,
Oh dear.
so I've been trying not to say this terrible one that I saw a bit earlier on. But if we're on that level,
by all means,
go for it. You got to go for it. Yeah.
What did the cat say on New Year's Eve?
Don't know. What did the cat say on New Year's Eve?
Happy New Year.
Oh, New Year. Oh, wow.
See, that's terrible, and I didn't want to do it, but you made me.
I'm trying to work this one out. I'm reading the one in front of myself now. It's what's a digital camera's New Year's resolution? 1080p. I got it.
You actually quite like that one. You tell I'm a computer nerd, technology
nerd. Oh boy. All jokes aside, folks, our fourth category for the best of the 22's is electronica.
You had it all. You had everything. You had them all. Lost everything.
always there with a smile on your face. You worked harder than your human skills. All the love that you gave to me, every moment that you made me see.
So it was real funny watching our reactions here, because we were just telling jokes, laughing, and we were all giggling, and we were like bright red in the cheeks. The song came on, we all got real serious. Smart Monkey, take it away.
Oh, this track, I've heard this track, and it is so powerful, this one. I don't know what it is about it, but it's so well I do. I mean, it's so well produced. It's got those dreamy vocals on it. Yeah, and I mentioned before, like vocals, and I said about Cocktail Twins, and I was trying to pin down these vocals, and you know, this track would just sit perfectly on a David Lynch film, because it's that dreamlike quality that he used to have on his tracks. He used to have like Julie Cruz, and her voice is very sort of similar, very dreamlike, with all those reverbs and echoes on there. And yeah, it's just, for me, you know, you think that the appeal would wear off, because it's this sort of track that just gradually works its way through. Doesn't change a heck of a lot, but it's still a beautiful track every time I hear it. The only thing that I would possibly say would possibly make it better, and people might not agree with me, but if it went a little bit more orchestral on the end, with a proper orchestra almost feel to the end. I don't know if you have heard like M83 and tracks like that, where they evolve, and then those layers build up into almost this orchestral feel. And the only thing that let me down on this song is the end. Actually, on this song, it's sort of very abrupt for such a beautiful song. That's what I feel it could have done with. It was just not only at the end, not through the rest, it would ruin it, but just at the end to build up into almost an orchestral layer and then disappear out.
Do you know, that's a really good point, because we were saying, weren't we, before, that this could be 20 minutes long, and we'd still want to keep it going, and it does end fairly abruptly, because I was saying before about the fact that, you know, the vocals drift out at the end of the song, and then the music sort of comes up slightly, and then it comes out and goes, and you just, maybe that's the, I mean, that is partially the art of the fade out, is to make you say, right, go back to the start again, and but that's a really good point and a really good idea. You could definitely do an extended version because you could have a really dramatic string section in there.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it'd be fantastic, even if it was synth strings as well. But you know, lots of just layers coming in, because it would just, you'd be swept along with it already. I mean, this one for me was an instant ear grabber. It's a total eargasm as far as I'm concerned. It takes you to another dimension. It's ethereal, it's magical, it's moody, it's dark, and it's beautiful as well. And it's just something, as you say, there's something about this song, and I don't know if it's just the combination of the sort of simplicity of everything, and the fact that it's so measured and slow and drifty, because it's quite a long song, but it just captures you right from the start. And the vocals come in really quickly as well. It starts abruptly and ends abruptly. So and yet the vocals, I don't think I've heard a vocal that's quite like that. And it's a very good, crisp, clear vocal, and it's unaffected. It's so nice to hear someone just singing the way they sing. And I love this song. Easily one of my favorites of the year.
That is definitely what I was kind of picturing is, because the snare is a little dull, kind of like going through the song, right? So I was thinking if we had this kind of like boom, where the snare kind of like echoes and reverbs into the background, right? I think that would help the song a lot. But to Rob's point here, M83, they did the soundtrack for Oblivion, did they not?
Yeah.
Oh, you've mentioned
that. So I couldn't remember the name of the band exactly. That's why I said I think it's M12 or something like that. So M83, I'm telling you, Carl, watch that damn movie. I've been telling you, I've told you this like the fourth time I've told you, watch Oblivion because that soundtrack will blow your mind.
Yeah.
The soundtrack to that movie is absolutely fantastic, and this is one of those songs that would definitely fit in there very nicely. And so, an orchestral build, like M83 does have, is I think would work great for that song. But in all fairness, the song works just fine by itself as well, because it does transport. And once again, if you had seen what you guys did see, because you guys see all three of us, so when I was looking, I saw all three of us get very serious when the song came on. It's like everybody grabbed their notepad, you know what I mean? So we went from cheesy jokes and rosy cheeks to grab the notepad. It's business time, and this is exactly what that song conveys. So yeah, brilliant song by Leonard there, Yves. All Your Words. So for your consideration, the best of 22's. So our next track will be FFV Silver with Ethereal. So I think that to the point that Rob was just making is kind of like imagine this song being mixed in with All Your Words right there, because this definitely had the orchestral part of the missing portion of All Your Words. What do you think, Smart Monkey?
Muted again, sorry about that. We were a bit brutal there again, weren't we, because we jumped in a little bit off the start. And one of the things about this track is it's got a very good start that gradually builds into all this ethereal music, which, you know, the title of the track is really suits it. Reminded me very much of Tangerine Dream, this one, and you know, Jean-Michel Jarre elements in there for sure, and Vangelis elements in there, but the primary one for me was Tangerine Dream, and you get that kind of real beautiful ambience of that track. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, there's no beat in there at all, is there? It is purely an ambient track. So yeah, it's just yeah, I really like that one again. Very cinematic. It's probably the best way to put it.
It's like Tangerine Dream. I mean, because the element of that, I was thinking, yeah, Vangelis, Tangerine Dream, on the ethereal, spacey side of it, it's definitely those elements, because you've got, with Tangerine Dream, they would use sequences and things, wouldn't they? So that's where you get the rhythm. Which, see, this is my big point about music always, is people say, oh, the beat, so you've got to have a good beat. No. It's the rhythm. It's all about the rhythm. That's what gets you moving. The foot tapping doesn't matter about the beat. And that's what moves you more than anything. And those sequences, that's the bit, that's the pulse of the whole piece. But you've also got this dreaminess. And I think, yeah, the Mike Oldfield and Terry Oldfield sort of earthiness of it, the Mike Oldfield Hergest Ridge sort of era, and Terry Oldfield Spiral Waves, that kind of thing. So it's a real sort of fusion of those things and those elements, and it really works beautifully well. I've forgotten how good that one was, actually. That was a really good track.
It was a good track. That's why I mean, there was a reason I put it on there. It's talking about getting transported to another dimension just by music itself. You know, the ambience of it, the kind of like the peacefulness of it with this otherworldly dimension to it. It definitely works in that favor with everything. So to your point there, not everything has to have a beat. It doesn't. If the melody is good, then you're going to enjoy it, you know? And I mean, we regularly do so in movies anyway, because there's a lot of songs that don't have beats to them. They just kind of like work in the background, which is one of the comments that we had made about this song, was that this is definitely commercially viable. It could definitely be in, you know, it could definitely be in a movie. It's a great track overall. The production is top notch. I mean, you really can't go wrong with it. You know, a deep meditative state is where you can really be put into with that song right there. And I think that, you know, like, damn, I wish I could be like the master of who collaborates with whom, you know what I mean? And then that would be even they, and then you know, Ethereal right there, FFV Silver, I should say, you know, collaborating on a song and then working something like this out would just be absolutely fantastic. But once again, both songs work on their own, which would bring us to our third track nomination into our electronica section, where I think if you want the best of both worlds, then you're going to end up here, which is Alexander Kislitsin, Smart Monkey.
Yeah, I think I'm not quite sure how long ago this track was released, but I think I may have commented on this one before on Slaps. I'm not sure if it is this one, but I can't remember if I asked the artist whether he actually played the violin on that track, and I think he does. I think
He does, yeah, he does.
Yeah, which I was impressed with, because that violin to me is the star of the show on that track. You'd think it's that dance element and that operatic vocal, but it's that violin that just dances its way through that track that I love. So yeah, the opera bit I could take or leave, but the violin, love it.
Yeah, I think with this one, it's got that element of the sort of Robert Miles children type. There's something about it. It's got that sort of Ibiza big banging club track about it, and yet it's got the classical elements of the violin that's played so well. And this is one of those tracks where normally I moan about the gated effect that everyone overuses. This is one track where I can stand it, and I love it, regardless of the gate effect, because it's handled quite nicely. But the vocal that was applied, he said he just found it kind of by chance, and it happened to fit in with the right key of the song. So it was just kicking around at the time, the song, that he also discovered that, and it all came together. So but that vocal as well, that vocal sample does fit so well. But it's for me very Klaus Nomi. Now, that was a artist from the late 70s, early 80s, who was a bit unusual, slightly punky, but he could do all these operatic high notes and things. And it just reminds me, there's a track of his called Valentine's Day that it's a must hear. It's again got an ethereal sort of quality about it, and it's just it's a beautiful song, absolutely beautiful song. But it reminds me of that, really. It's a really upbeat, but it's got a lot of sadness in it, because the violin's a very sad instrument, can be very emotional, and with that vocal as well. And it's a Minor Liebe, My Love, so it's quite an emotional sort of song, and yet it's a big banging dance track. So it's quite an odd combination, but it really works.
Well, that's the thing. Once again, we made the point was made. I should say that you can mix two different genres of music,
yeah,
make it your own, which is what Alexander is going on here. So he's a trained violinist. He plays very nicely. You add that with the Robert Miles effect to the entirety of the song, then you have the operatic vocals, and then you add the classical element to everything. So not only are you talking about a really hip dance track that could be played in any club in the world, but you're also talking about a nice soothing piece of music that you can enjoy just for the rhythm and the vocals of it, right? So there's a lot going on there, and it's for as much as there is going on there, I got to say that it's top notch production, because everything kind of like has its place, right? Nothing was really. There wasn't one single instrument that was really overpowering the other. The automation was set up like near perfection, right? So when we talk about viability commercially, absolutely. Radio friendly, absolutely. Playlistable, absolutely. 100%. It's, once again, folks, it's on the list for a reason. And if it gets your vote, you got to leave the comments below. I've been forgetting to mention that throughout the entire show here until we're like more than halfway through here. Leave comments in the comment section, please. Let us know which one you like. That will determine the artist of the year, I'm thinking, right? So I had forgotten about this one completely.
Yes, good one. I mean, I do like synth pop and retro synth and stuff. It is one of my favorite genres, and my brothers as well. But I could have put so many in here in this category, because we've had so many good ones. But this one I keep coming back to. I keep playing it in the car, and it's just really good.
I had forgotten how much I liked this one, and because this one was still on one of the earlier episodes, I believe either episode 7 or episode 8. if I remember correctly. It was definitely one of the way earlier episodes where we still didn't have the graphics or anything like that going on. We were still in the early phases of figuring out the underground sound here. But excuse me. No.
Now we're so professional, of course.
Yes, no. Yeah. Oh my God.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So this is meant to be the outer portion of it anyway. But yeah, so Luna Square featuring Aaron Sutcliffe with All Eternity. Have you heard this one at all, Rob?
Not sure. Don't think so.
No? Okay.
If you like Vince Clarke Erasure and that kind of thing, I think you'll like it.
I'll let it play for about a good minute and a half, so that way we get the effect going on here. Okay. But it is a really good song. If that song does not bring you back to the 80s, I don't know which one will. Smart Monkey, let me know what you think.
Yeah. Nails the 80s sound, doesn't it? So I know that they were, I think in the comments they were saying Yazoo, and we sort of mentioned about Depeche Mode, and there's another vocal, another artist that I just can't put my finger on who they sounded like. But yeah, they've nailed that 80s sound almost bang on, and it's not a bad thing. I know we were sort of saying that, music potentially should move on, but it's great to go and hear these sort of tracks in that vein of what was a classic era of music to a certain extent, and to hear a new artist coming up with new stuff based very much on those principles is refreshing to be fair, and we need it in a rather stagnant music time at the moment.
And it goes to show you, new songs can be written. I mean, okay, it's in an old style, but it's a brand new song again. It just sounds. I just wish music was like this again because it was so good. I mean, it's just as melodic. It's nice. It's interesting. It's got lots of nice sound. You got sort of like a background OMD sort of synth sound. You've got the Vince Clarke Erasure and Yazoo sounds on the keyboard. The vocals are really very 80s, but it's also got, I think I didn't even spot this one before, but it's only just now I thought actually it's very much like Blancmange's Waves as well in the sort of feel of the song. It's like a sort of pop synth ballad, and that's one of those. That's a great track as well. But I just actually every time I hear it, I never flick it on to the next one. I have to hear it right the way through.
Yeah,
from beginning to end, absolutely. Yeah.
And it was Erasure. That was what I was trying to pin down. Was Erasure.
Yeah. No, this has movies like Breakfast Club written all over it. Like honestly, like just the Depeche Mode feel of it. This retro synth, everything about it. The retro synth bass, the retro synth. The retro 80s kind of like bass, the retro 80s synth, everything that's going on to it, to the retro 80s vocals, being really brought to life in 2022 makes the song like really, really stand out. So I mean, we don't even really have to get into too much of production quality. Production quality is great. The commercial viability of the song, I think, is outstanding, whether it be live or soundtrack or whatever the case may be. Like if somebody wanted to redo an 80s movie these days, then this song could definitely pop in there as the as the climactical song for the movie. So I enjoyed it very much.
Wouldn't it be great if they did a sort of as they sometimes do retro movies set in a certain period? If they did a retro 80s thing, a bit like Stranger Things, but if they did a brand new soundtrack but all set in the 80s in that style, wouldn't that be a dream? I keep meaning I've got an idea for if any of you want to assist at any point, but I've got this idea that I'd love to do an 80s synth pop retro album as well, and I think that'd be great. All in the different styles of the 80s, like Human League and OMD and Depeche Mode. Be great.
Yeah, all new material in that style. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, no, I think it would be a great idea. We were talking about a song that you had started off with your with your
Yes,
niece, I
need to
believe.
do
Right?
that.
Yeah, we need to do this. So give me the files since I have everything kind of like updated with the new computer and everything like that. So um that will do our 4 songs for the electronica category right there, folks, with an honorable mention. I am going to play this one all the way through just because I do want to hear it all the way through. So sorry about that, gents. But if Smart Monkey hasn't heard this one yet, then he will enjoy this one anyway. And this was honorable mention to Rem Rem with Back to the Future. I bet you my neighbors are dying for me to move out of here finally. So, Smart Monkey, what you got to say, man?
Yeah, that had a like an 80s, I want to say either an 80s sci-fi kind of feel to it. You know, would sit really well in an 80s kind of sci-fi movie. But the other thing that struck me is it's very sort of like 8-bit digital game, almost like not 8-bit, but you know, those retro gamer soundtracks like Outrun. Was it Outrun? It was the one with the racing one where they're driving along. But it's got that real sort of driving feel of a 80s game going through it. So yeah, real retro vibes on that one. It's funny, I think I have heard that one because you asked if I had heard it before, and I think I had. And there was another artist, and the two of them were putting their music out around the same time. Someone called Sonic Zone. I don't know if you've heard Sonic Zone, and they do like a really good 80s retro feel. And I thought at first that these were the same artist, but they're not. And yeah, there's another one to check out, Sonic Zone. But let's not do this track any discredit though. Yeah, real sort of driving retro feel to that. Really liked it.
Yes, definitely a sort of Stranger Things and 80s vibe on that one. Yeah, definitely. This is the closing credits of a John Carpenter film with Val Kilmer or something like that. You know.
Yeah, very John Carpenter. Yeah,
yeah, and it's just got that vibe written all over it. I like it actually more on second and third listens now. So it's got more to it than I thought it had, and I like that retro sound that you're pointing out. Is that the main melody line is done in exactly that sort of old computer type sound. Love it, really love it.
Yeah, so as mentioned before, my only beef with the song was that it really didn't have a climax to it, which is why it didn't make the list for best of, because it just it seems to be the same thing kind of like all throughout. So there's no and this song could definitely have it. It could definitely have it, whether it would be vocal or whether it would be orchestral or whatever the case may be. This song could definitely have a nice, like really big climax that's to really, really kind of like in the middle, just drag you into it. Again, not to do discredit to the song at all, because it is a very good song. This is why it does have an honorable mention here. And that will do it, folks, for our electronica section of the best of the 2022s. And you know what that means? More cheesy jokes. Do you want to start, Carl, or should I?
Okay, yeah, fine. I thought you were going to start there. It's okay. So it's a bit of a variation on the one we had for the Christmas special. But what happened to the man who shoplifted a calendar on New Year's Eve?
I saw this joke earlier, actually.
He got 12 months.
He got 12 months, yes. Instead of 25 days, he got 12 months, yeah. What did the dad say at 11:59 p.m. on New Year's Eve?
Don't know.
No more jokes until next year.
Hey. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, that's like me, that is. Right. Oh, we had this is another variation on the Christmas one. I'm going to milk it for all it's worth, though. What did Adam say to Eve on December the 31st?
I have no idea.
It's New Year's Eve.
Oh, my.
Because we had it. It's Christmas Eve. I see how they're interchangeable, a lot of these jokes. So we'll have to do that one at Easter as well.
I guess so. It's. Oh man, my New Year's resolution is to procrastinate. I'll start tomorrow. So going on to our fifth segment of the show today here, folks. This is the best of rock for the 2022s, and the nominees are
pay the price. Yeah, young much I was in the paper, house in a shirt sale. Friends of mine been telling me, yo, look
Mr. Monkey, what do you have to say there?
Yeah, I like this one. So when this track starts, it starts more like an 80s pop track, in all honesty. And I was like, how's this like rock? But as it goes, and we didn't hear the end, but as it gets gradually further through the track, it just gets grittier and just more sort of rocky as it goes. It doesn't go full on rock to me, but yeah. And this is a classic example of what we were talking about, of how genres can sort of blend and change. And to me, you got this almost Depeche Mode feel to it, and then it just gets grittier and more edgy as it goes. And the style is almost a little bit unique in where it ends up, personally, I think. And it perfectly blends that retro feel with something that's more modern and up to date. And so it's bringing that forward in my mind. So this artist has brought that style forward. It's a clever track, I think.
I think so. I think it's interestingly, I thought it's almost exactly the same thoughts. I was thinking, well, this is more synth pop, and then it became a bit rocky. But I think it's literally a sort of hybrid of synth and rock, and it is now synth rock, which hasn't really been a category before much, although synthesizers have been used, by Bruce Springsteen and numerous, Europe in the Final Countdown. So they do fuse together, but this one's definitely a sort of 80s synth pop that's got a bit more guitar bass to it, to the extent that I think with the vocal, the way it sounds as well, it feels like a sort of Bastille type of track to me. That kind of modern contemporary sound. So yeah, it's a good song, good track.
Well, I put it in the rock section because I've listened to Jamie's body of work. He's submitted multiple times to when I was still doing the 1s and 2s, and he kind of like tends to. He has his own style because some of it almost sounds electronic, some of it almost sounds 80s, some of it almost sounds like let's say like synth wave, and then but the majority of it does sound rockish. And with this song, especially with this song, it does have these gradual changes, and as the song progresses, obviously, as you saw, it was a pretty long song, 5 minutes 40 some odd seconds. It does have those buildups, and it does have those kind of like those changes and everything. So when I was doing the interview with him, Carl, I don't know if you had noticed, but he really liked your comment that you had mentioned that he spent a lot of time working on that one synth that he was doing. So when in fact he had mentioned that he did. And so I just think that it fits nicely in the rock category, and it definitely should be heard, especially since we don't have like a best of synth wave rock or synth rock or whatever the case may be, right? Because once again, we talked about it a couple of times, that the genres are kind of like forever changing now. Music is evolving, we must evolve with it. And so I think it does fit nicely into the rock category. It's just going to be my 2 cents on that.
It certainly does. As the track progresses, it gets more that way. It's you're right.
A more rockin' track, though, if you want to consider it that, I wish there was the album version of that. I should have actually pulled up the episode of the 1s and 2s where the album version was on there without the other people talking. But you can pick up on the overall rockiness of it. Smart Monkey, what say you, my friend?
Yeah, I kind of like the way the video, because oddly enough, I felt that this had a vibe of the Queens of the Stone Age to it. Certainly the guitar elements of it, not the vocals, but the guitar elements of it, and then that cheekiness of the video sitting over the top reminded me of that as well. But there's elements of Kasabian in there for me as well. So again, it's a hard one to pin down because there's elements of all a slight bit of Killers in there as well. But yeah, I like all those artists, so it's hitting the right notes for me, really.
Definitely. Carl, you are yawning?
Yeah, it's getting a bit late. Well, it's getting late for Rob as well. He's obviously used to the late nights. I had so many late nights lately, though. But I was also coughing just then as well. So I keep muting it every time I cough. I've been coughing in loads tonight. So basically, I think ditto to what everything Rob said there. I mean, it's all those elements of sounds there. The video does keep you absorbed and interested, and the video can make a big difference. That's a very good video. So I remember that now. Yeah, it's good. It's a good, solid song, I think.
My brain's not letting me think of it, you know, but definitely his delivery, his vocal style is definitely that of Robert Smith of The Cure, and it reminds me of it like all the way through, especially if you listen to the other ones, Sherlock Holmes Would Know, or you know, his other bodies of work there. He's definitely got that vibe going on and everything like that. So that's one of the things that really prompted me to get in touch with him, like in the beginning, and kind of like be like, I like your music, man. I'm digging it, you know, you know, so it just gave out that vibe. And I think that he has a like a slow walk, Keith, right? He has a very comedic element to him, you know what I mean? And which you could tell by watching the video, or especially if you watch the other one, Sherlock Holmes Would Know, and if you listen to those to the words in it, right? You know, in Hangman, he's very much so making fun of you know, social media and the roles that everybody plays. Like, he's looking at this and with that one dude, right? Like, this is the jacket, and then this is the jacket on me. You know what I mean? So, the influencer statuses that everybody has these days. So he's poking a lot of fun at that, and made a great song out of it, you know. But him being like this, you know, a fellow countryman of yours, you know, sitting there and kind of like having this kind of like mustache going on, and, you know, being this wild honky tonk kind of like cowboy and everything like that, right? Yeah, I think it's just brilliant music, and Hangman was one of those songs that I think definitely kind of like drags you in and kind of like keeps you into that kind of like into that vibe, you know what I mean? So I liked it just all for those reasons. So I wish I know he moved to Spain, but then I saw some stuff during the whole lockdown and everything like that, where he was in New York, and, you know, he had some pictures in New York there and everything like that. So I don't know what's going on with him, what part of the world he's in right now, but I would definitely look forward to hearing some more stuff from Slow Walk there. But for the second nomination of our Best of Rock category there, that would be Slow Walk with his song Hangman. And now we are on to our third song, which is Rising Sun with You Lie. This just happened to be one of the Fandango's faves recently, so let's check this out. Rising Sun right there with You Lie. Rob, what do you think, man?
Well, good vocal. I really like that, but I'm trying to having one of those moments that we were just saying, where I'm trying to pin who the artist is, and it was so reminiscent of someone. I can't pin who it is. But that vocal is very reminiscent of the artist I'm thinking of. It'll come into my head in a minute, but
you could do it. Jimmy Page. Think Jimmy Page.
Yeah, there's an element of Jimmy Page. It wasn't Jimmy Page, but there is an element of Jimmy Page in there.
Oh, for the guitars, there sure is a lot of Jimmy Page in there, particularly with the start. You don't hear it tonight on what we've heard, but the intro is very much Jimmy Page.
Yeah, I can't think of who the other one is that I'm thinking of, but when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, that vocal is so much like them, but powerful voice, and yeah, it just works so well on that track. It was good.
Yep, it's big, epic, dramatic, very Led Zeppelin, very Jimmy Page, and musically, vocally, I found it's partially two things, mostly Rod Stewart, but there's a particular track Rod Stewart and Python Lee Jackson did years ago called In a Broken Dream. And there's elements of that really sound similar. His delivery is excellent. But also possibly the Manic Street Preachers, I'd say, as well. Whatever the lead vocal.
Yeah, get a bit of that. Yeah.
Bit of that in there as well, vocally. But I think more Rod Stewart than anything for me, because it's is emulating that kind of gravelly rock vocal. Good though, good song.
I don't know about Rod Stewart, man, but I've not been correct on too many things here tonight. So.
But if you hear In a Broken Dream, Rod Stewart and Python Lee Jackson, and when he sings that line, something is over, that line, that that particular line really does sound like the way the younger Rod Stewart delivers his vocals in that other song. It's worth it. It's a good song as well. Really good song.
I'll have to take your word for it because I listened to Rod Stewart all throughout my childhood because my mom loved him, obviously, just like anybody's mom probably did. That's kind of like around my age. So I'm not going to listen to his entirety body of work to listen for one line, Carl.
It's just one song. That's what it is.
one song, one line. I'm not going back to that, Carl. So it's just no, I don't get it because I don't hear the graveliness in in his voice there. I definitely think that this has more of a classic vibe, definitely Led Zeppelin-ish vibe to it. So yeah, it's an overall obviously a very enjoyable song, very well produced and everything like that. But I do not think myself personally, I don't think that I would compare it to Rod Stewart, for crying out loud.
Same era as Led Zeppelin.
Rod Stewart is like pop, though, isn't it?
No. If you listen to his early 70s stuff, he's all about him and the Faces. I mean, you listen to Paul Hall Richard or Stay With Me, that's not pop. Or you listen to a lot of his stuff, early stuff's rock. It's all rocking. And then he became more commercial. Then he went into the sort of disco era. Do You Think I'm Sexy and Hot Legs. And then he went into the pop era. He moved with the times. So basically, then some guys have all the luck. He did a very sort of commercially synth pop sort of song, and then some ballads. And then he went into all the retro American songbooks and things. So he's again another great artist that's survived because A, he's a brilliant artist and good quality. He's a good interpreter of songs. B and C, he moves with the times.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to some more.
Just that track, In a Broken Dream. That's worth listening to.
Okay. I'll definitely listen to it because, Rod Stewart came into my life basically just about the same time as Modern Talking and ABBA did, right? So I was like right about on that cusp of it. Modern Talking, I remember the first song I heard was Brother Louie. With ABBA, I think it was Dancing Queen was the first song that I heard. But this is all the stuff that my mom was really into and that I just kind of like overheard in the process, right? But I did like it. I'm not going to lie. So, So moving on to our fourth track of the nomination for the best rock song will be Billingsley with Sad Faces. Oh, my bad. I almost didn't stop that one. I was like getting really into it. And so Smart Monkey, take it away, sir.
Yeah. I've heard this one and I think I just saw my comment flying past, which said, I was trying to pin this one down when I first heard it, and there's an element or a shade of Kings of Leon in this track, early Kings of Leon stuff. It's just something about his voice, and I was like, well, am I hearing that? And I'm just hearing it again here now. I'm like, yeah, I am hearing that. I am. It's not as perhaps in your face and as raw as Kings of Leon, but it's got it there. And some of their earlier stuff was sort of that more subtle almost in their approach to it. And yeah, and I like Kings of Leon, especially their early stuff.
Carlos Fandango.
Certainly a well produced song, well constructed song. It's got a bit of late 90s, early noughties rock sound meets Santana, a little bit of that in there, a little bit of Police in there. They've got, you can sort of hear the influences that they draw on. It's very tight musically with the band. The harmonies are great, melodic and harmonic, and it's the lyrics are always good and interesting. The vocals are excellent. I mean, it's just really everything's just so spick and span and ship shape, and just the attention to detail is second to none. I do like Billingsley a lot. I think they're definitely one to watch for 2023. I'm so looking forward to seeing what else they come up with.
I'm looking forward to 2023 in general as far as the music's concerned, but Billingsley would definitely be one of the top bands to look out for, I think, because this is the first song of theirs, I think, that we reviewed. Yes, we did have another one. I don't recall the name of it exactly right now, but this
Mood Ring.
Mood Ring. Okay.
Yeah.
That does make sense. So This song really kind of like drags you back into the 90s with a modern feel once again. So retro, new-ish kind of vibe to it. I was digging it. I think one of their influences, I got to look this up. I think one of their influences that I was it was Red Hot Chili Peppers. That I was very keen on hearing how the Red Hot Chili Peppers had influenced them, and it didn't seem like it was at all Red Hot Chili Peppers, because I'm with Rob here, where I could definitely hear Kings of Leon. That's for damn sure. I could definitely hear a lot of that in there, but once again, this is just for this track here, but very well produced. I think they got a really tight ship going on over there. I think they know what they're doing. I think they have an idea, especially of where they want to be. Right. So they want to be, rock stars. And I think that's where their production is taking them, as I do think that they will be rock stars. So it's going to be very nice to see what 2023 will bring for Billingsley here. And so those were our 4 nominations for the Best of Rock for 2022. And I had an honorable mention here of the Very Reverend with Holy Ghost. But Holy Ghost did make our best of the YouTube videos. So Carl or Smart Monkey, point me in a direction of an indie rock song that deserves an honorable mention.
Right, I'll have a quick scan because I've got them all in front of me, all these lists of ones that I thought were the best one. Ooh, okay, could be that one. I'll be 2 seconds. There will be one. That's not really rock. Okay, nearly there. I don't know if Push and Pull. No, that's not really rock, is it? Push and Pull? Was that rock? Smoke in the Trees, Never Die. That's sort of rock. The Shrinks, Push and Pull. That was the one that was like Cake.
I remember the Shrinks, Push and Pull. That definitely could make it. I think that that does deserve an honorable mention because it made it onto the Certified Bangers.
Yeah, that was good. It was a good song. There's plenty more, but that one's pretty good.
I want to hear it now. Now you said it's like Cake.
Yeah. Oh, it's because I actually spelled it out. Push and pull.
All right.
So instead of the ampersand, right? So yeah, here we go. Honorable mention. Did not make the list entirely, but good song nonetheless. The Shrinks with Push and Pull. Let's check it out.
Can we talk about the push and pull that you put me through? Can we talk about the days and nights that I lost my cool? Can we talk about your eyes as they looked away when I thought they'd stay? Can we talk about the highs that we felt those days now they've slipped away? You tried to push, I tried to pull, but in the end we ended up fools. I couldn't win, you couldn't lose, only see red, feeling the blues. I remember in the fall when you smiled while I glanced your way. Now we fall into it all. Now the leaves have gone and we're stuck this way. I remember in the cold when you stripped away words I couldn't say. Memories spring into my mind. You're no longer mine as we slip through time. You tried to push, I tried to pull, but in the end, made me the fool. I'll never win, you'll never lose. to prove, but in the end, you made me the fool. I'll never win, you'll never lose. I tried so hard, but you'll never move.
Our honorable mention, the Shrinks push and pull for the best of the 2022's. Mr. Monkey, what have you to say?
Yeah, I get that cake vibe that Carlos mentioned there. I get a feel for that. I don't know if it's my headphones, but there's like I guess it was a hat or something that they were tapping all the way through, and I've just found that a little bit too prominent in my mind. But that's only a small minor thing. But other than that, although it did keep distracting me because I was just drawn a bit like Carlos said, when you hear something and you can't then unhear it. It was this there and the whole time like some ticking clock, which might be the effect. I don't know. But yeah, definitely got that cake vibe that you were referring to there. Yeah. And no doubt I didn't get to hear the end of it, and I haven't heard that one before. So yeah, what I'll have to do is have a listen and see how it ends up.
Oh yeah, definitely take a listen to it. It's a good song all the way throughout. It made it onto our certified bangers list. So Carlos Fandango, take it away, sir.
I think the cake vibe thing was mainly through that drum sound actually with that. Because the song Frank Sinatra has that vibe to it, and I really like that one anyway. But my brother really liked this one actually when he saw it on our channel, and I think I like the vocals, the way he delivers the vocals. There's something about the whole vibe of the song. It's kind of a little bit mysterious and a bit dark, and but it's good. It's good. I think my comment previously was that I wanted the drums to have a little bit more push and pull, literally, so that they would reflect the push and pull of the song rather than being, which is my comment. What you've picked up on there is what I was commenting on, that they were the same sort of drum thing all the way through. It's like a sort of cut and paste thing,
right?
But not necessarily, but that's felt like that. So I think it could have a bit more ebb and flow, which would then reflect the lyrical content. So, and I think that's the kind of detail I think it's worth paying attention to. It's a good song nevertheless anyway. It doesn't suffer for it really, but it would enhance the song if there was a little bit more ebb and flow, I think.
No, it doesn't suffer at all. You know, the cake vibe that I had going to it was more because of the fact that it was kind of like more of a spoken word kind of thing rather than, you know, huge production, which Cake does have that vibe, especially with the lead singer. I was just listening to it now, and I don't know, have you guys seen, I hope that you've seen the movie There's Something About Mary?
I've still not seen it ever.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
I know.
I'm going to fucking hang you when I see. Are you hanging the peasants?
Mind you, my brother has only just watched Elf on Christmas Eve for the first time.
Oh, no way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
how'd you avoid it?
There's something about Mary. There's these two guys, right? And they're musicians. So one of them's like pretend plucking away at the guitar. The other one's pretend like kind of like drumming, right? And so this kind of like had that same vibe to it, where it sounds like kind of like almost like kind of like Latin music, almost kind of like rock Latin. And so this is the kind of vibe that comes off to me. And I just thought of it this time that we heard about it, because it has that. It has that kind of like melody going throughout the song. But I think that it's very kind of like radio viable. Like if you heard this on the radio, you definitely wouldn't turn it off because it's very catchy. So that's what it definitely has that going on for it. So great job.
They may have done it on purpose. They may have, because we're comparing them to Cake, and Cake have that quirky kind of feel to them, that thing that makes them a little bit different. They they do it on purpose, and maybe they've done that on purpose specifically for that point.
They very well could have. I know a gentleman here in Florida who has a band that's called Fall on Purpose, and they fall on purpose because they kind of like fail on purpose, and it's this whole big production, right? There's like 12 members to the band. There's one dude playing the xylophone. There's like another one on the saxophone, the trombone, and the sax. And I mean, you got like 2 guys on the drums, 3 guitarists, 1 like rhythm section. But it's just their thing, right? There, it's like this big band, kind of like melancholy, kind of like orchestra going on and everything like that. So, but it sounds really good if you're there live and you've had like a couple of beers, and it sounds like really good. So, it could be one of those things. But once again, a very honorable mention to the songs right there, because it deserves an honorable mention, that's for sure. So I think we should take a 5-minute break. I would really like a cigarette. I don't know how you guys are. I know it's getting really late for you guys there. We only have
5 to 12. We still got what, 3 categories? Is it?
Nope. We have 2 more. We have the best.
2 more, that's right.
The best of hip hop and rap, and the best YouTube video. That's what we got going on.
Oh yeah, but then we've also got the Artist of the Year and Song of the Year.
I think the Artist of the Year we should choose. I think we should reveal the Artist of the Year on our first episode of the 2023 year, especially when the radio station makes a comeback.
Okay.
Because I'm excited for that. Because I'm very excited to announce that, because we will have an FM dial on the radio station. So. Ooh. That coming into 2023 is going to be super exciting. Mm-hmm. Something to look forward to. Yeah. So I'm gonna go have a smoke. Anderson Cooper is gonna go give the news real quick. And
Anderson Cooper.
No, I was making fun of Smart Monkey. He kind of looked like Anderson Cooper for a second.
I don't even know who he is.
No, I don't know.
You don't know who Anderson Cooper is?
Who's that?
Host of CNN. He's got like one of those shows on.
He's dashingly good looking, is what you're saying, yeah?
He is good looking.
And he's got hair.
Albeit very grey.
I'm going to bring up a picture right now. It's not like totally, because Anderson's a little bit older, obviously, but there we go. Right? Look at that.
Oh, right. I see what you mean.
Yeah, he's a good looking guy. I'll take that.
Handsome fella.
Yeah.
I gotta say. All right. So nobody likes my joke anymore. Okay, I get it. Fine.
he looks like Superman if he got old, doesn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
I never thought of this.
Very Clark Kent. Yeah.
Clark Kent older. All right. We're gonna take a quick break. It'll be this for everybody, and then we'll be back with the rest of the nominees for the best of the 2022s. I'm not going to do the pipe this time, so we'll see you in a minute.
Okay. So
you started yet?
I have jokes lined up for when you do.
I was just saying that I should drop a deep throat clanger when I was talking about the vocals. I think one of the country songs. Oh yeah, he's got that good, deep throat. And I managed to throw a deep throat in there. Oh my God.
Right. We wouldn't be described as a family show always, so that's okay.
Not always. No. Definitely not. With White Boy Chili, and then we had the F You to the Moon song. That's definitely not family friendly. Absolutely not.
Plus the Christmas ones were a little bit irreverent. There was Grandma taking a pot, and there was the Fleshlight you were playing out loud on your monitors.
Yes.
The Santa, Dear Santa, your dad.
Yeah.
Where it's singing, I want a fleshlight to wrap around my cock. And Tom was playing this out loud on his monitor speakers. So I don't know what his neighbours thought.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, the walls are very thin here. Very, very
They
thin.
probably think, "Oh, you'll be lucky."
I'm trying to look at these jokes, and these jokes are just.
Oh, I've got some.
That's terrible.
Right now, not to brag, but I already have a date for New Year's Eve, December the 31st.
Okay. It took a second to kick in, but no.
I thought you'd been serious for a moment.
Why did the man stand on one leg at midnight on New Year's? He wanted to start the year on the right foot.
God.
Dear.
You're wasting,
Oh,
you're wasting
what do-
these beautiful jokes.
What do criminals pay on January 1st?
Don't know.
It's a New Year's restitution.
Oh. There was one about George Washington here somewhere. I think I went past it. Oh, I can't believe I've missed it. Where was it? I'll come to it. I'll find it. Oh, what did George Washington do in the days leading up to New Year's?
No.
He made a New Year's revolution.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dear. See, this is my kind of humour. I like this one.
Yeah, no.
What did dogs say on New Year's Eve?
No.
I don't know, man.
Woof.
Oh, like any day, yeah.
That's my kind of sense of humour. I like it.
Dear. What did kangaroos say to each other at midnight, January the 1st? Happy New Year!
Oh my God.
That's bad. That's bad. That is pretty bad.
Oh, there was a good one there, actually. There's a really hilarious one.
My New Year's resolution was to drop bad habits, but no one likes a quitter.
What did the caterpillar do on January the 1st?
No, don't know.
Turned over a new leaf.
Oh, of course.
All right, folks. Here we go. So, the best of 2022s. We're on best hip hop and rap, and the nominees are.
¿Quién eres tú para juzgarme sin saber de dónde vengo? ¿Quién eres tú para contar y entender qué es lo que tengo? ¿Qué es lo que sabes de mi vida con total exactitud? Si apenas conoces la tuya, dime tú quién eres tú. ¿Quién eres tú para hablar y opinar de mi persona? Si ni siquiera analizas, ni mucho menos razonas. Que si me viste sorriando, que si me viste riendo, que no sabes si me viste y te la pasas mintiendo. Quieres conocer mis virtudes y sentenciar mis defectos, sin ni siquiera saber que soy corazón e intelecto. En las buenas y en las malas sigo siendo siempre el mismo y que odio a la hipocresía.
It never seems to be, it seems to me the negative energy is plain to see. I gotta give myself check, myself rest, not to be trapped in that whole cause and effect. Progress is perfection, follow. Never give up but try again. Hope for a better tomorrow. Never live in denial again. See many living in sorrow. Is there a
Ever since left the block, don't keep no rock in my sock. Still hold it there at the spot. Still gotta watch for the cop. No time's the only thing that could stop. Got a family but I still move hot. Fly OT and set up shop. Couldn't be without weed, I'd be a lost guy. There's never a second that I'm not high. I'm trying to make a million from a crop. Leave for days and come back with guap. I hear them say they're down for me, I think that they're not.
I want what I want when I want it, and I won't stop till I get it with you. Baby, you got that sex appeal. The way you stand gives me cold chills. I can't front. You got the kind of arms I want to feel around me every morning.
¿Quién eres tú? By Ruly MC, Mr. Monkey. What say you, sir?
Yeah, kind of takes me back to that Dr. Dre feel of rap there, with that like underlying sort of basic riffs that's going on through. I'm missing a lot by not understanding what they're saying, I'm afraid. You know, that you know that there's some message going on through it, and you just don't know what it is, unfortunately. But you know, as a rap song goes, it's got those elements of that sort of more sort of classic rap. And I love the bit where the voice sort of drops out into that kind of almost like a radio edit, like it's just really lo-fi at one point, and then that like deranged laugh. And again, I wish I could tie it in with what is going on with the lyrics, because it's almost like this evil Joker style laugh on there. But yeah. There was one thing, I don't know about you guys, but for me the bass was a little bit too, I know that hip hop needs that driving bass, but for me it's just that little bit too overpowering and distorting a little bit, and that coming through the top of the track. But other than that, yeah, I didn't mind that one.
It's overpowering a little bit, Mr. Fandango.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'd spotted. It was just that big bass. I actually quite like the backing music. I know rap music, it seems to be one of my big bugbears, is that it plays second fiddle to the lyrics rather than. I don't understand why music has to take second place in rap. I understand it's about the lyrics and that's why they do it. I still don't believe that's actually justifiable, really, in reality, because if you had, the music was actually quite interesting on this one, so I quite liked it. And again, you know, you sort of get quite a nice sort of flow and vibe to it. I somehow sensed he was a little bit softer on the ears than a lot of other rap artists, and he wasn't overly aggressive with it, but you know, so I quite like the vibe of this one. Actually, as rap songs go, not bad.
I gotta say, you know, once again, hopping on Slaps for my first time there after I had, you know, signed to the DistroKid, because for me back in the day, it was always about, you know, I was uploading the CD Baby, and this is the way that I was distributing my music. Once I heard about DistroKid, I hopped on there, and then I found out about Slaps, and then hopping on there again. This is one of the first hip hop rap songs that I've heard, and it really caught me, right? Because even if you just forget about not understanding the lyrics and everything, right? The beat is just it's really on point, and it gets your head bobbing, and it's really enjoyable to listen to. And I think that this is probably one of the first songs that I left a comment to, which was of the same effect, where music transcends, you know, language barriers. So you don't need to understand the song to understand that it's poppy and that it's good. So that's where I was with that one, and that's honestly why this really took one of the spots in the best hip hop and rap category for me, is just because that fact is you don't need to understand the lyrics to bob your head to that song. That melody and that and the overall flow of it is really good. Even though that bass, when it comes in, that boom, that really, really, really strong sub bass, it's a little overpowering, but it still doesn't change my mind about the fact that that this is a good hip hop song, just in general. So
I just wanted to come back on a point that Carlos made there, actually, which is an interesting point. When you look at hip hop in those sort of early days, what they would tend to do is take a very catchy riff and just loop it. And the power of it was that riff was just so notable, and you'd go, I love that bit. And then the whole basis of the song was almost that one riff just repeating itself. But you didn't mind, because it was such a catchy riff. You would have stripped that bit out yourself of that particular track if you had heard it and gone, yeah, that's what I like. And the cleverness of hip hop in those early days was they'd take that and they would work it to build a whole track from. And the thing that would change would be the lyrics.
Right.
But you didn't mind, because this catchy riff drove through. But I think that, you know, some of the modern rap is missing that element of it now. You know, that not this one is, because this one has that element of that older style and that I like. But yeah, some of the modern stuff doesn't grasp the fact that it was all built upon this catchy riff that you have driving the song through.
Right, but just touching on your point also is that the riff can be one thing, but without the vocals driving everything forward,
Yeah.
and then you really wouldn't have a song at all, right? Because Dr. Dre, Eminem, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, all these guys, they had lyrics that were going through daily life, daily experiences, right? And so there were people in the community that understood exactly what they were going through, and there were people outside of the community that weren't like, this is hooky and catchy, but I feel what these guys are kind of like going through. So I think that the lyrics and the vocals make a huge part up about it also. Of course, you need a hook with any song.
Yeah.
Whether you're talking about rock or electronica or whatever the case may be, you need that hook to be there, which is that one thing. So if you take Vanilla Ice, for example, into consideration, right? They took the Queen beat from Under Pressure, right? And they reused that loop of the bass line, bum 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 bada bum bum. Bum 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 bada bum bum, and then they formulated the song around it. But and I still can't believe that this is still his real name, Robert Van Winkle. Vanilla Ice sung his song behind that, right? So I think that either by itself would have never been as good as both combined.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carl, did you freeze or?
No, I'm just.
Are you just
listening,
like
but
you guys are fucking?
I have little to say about rap because I have the same opinion that I always had, and it hasn't it hasn't forced me to change my opinion in all those years because it's not sort of grabbed me. Sometimes it has. D12, I really quite liked Eminem, some Dre, Dr. Dre stuff. There are bits that pop out every now and then. With the thing is with I think a lot of them on slaps will use the same samples. So almost every song sounds the same when it starts. It's so boring. And why can't people create their own sounds, their own samples, be a bit more inventive and creative? And also, maybe that's also part of the problem, I suppose, is because record companies can afford to use and pay for proper old song samples, whereas artists who are doing it in their bedrooms can't do that. They have to use the loops and things on the system that the DAW that they're using.
Not necessarily. Okay, so imagine that you're trying to make money off of music to get out of whatever lifestyle that you're in, right? And so you could use a catchy hook, which eventually will catch up to you because then you'll have to pay out the ass to pay back for it, as Vanilla Ice did. I think as a matter of fact, after all the lawsuits and everything like that, like Vanilla Ice actually has to pay like 5 cents every time that song is played now, right? Because he not only does he have to pay to Queen, but he also has to pay to Suge Knight, who produced it at that point. So it was a funny joke that he made. Not really funny, I guess, to him, but it was a joke that he had made back in the day. Is I owe money when that song is played. So, but just imagine that you're trying to come up with something to kind of like get out, and you have really, really, really minimal resources to do so, right? So either you are going to go at this thing full-fledged as yourself and do your own stuff, or you are going to try to bite off of other stuff, right? So I mean, those are really the only two ways to go about it. So what's the most popular hip-hop song right now in the world? It's Billie Eilish by Armani White. This thing is just like all over the place. And I shouldn't say all over the world. Are you going to write that down?
Hey, well, me?
Yeah, because you look like you were grabbing for something. I thought you were
Oh,
going
no, it's my
like we talked about this before. So.
Purdy's down here. She's I was just stroking Purdy because she's come in and I didn't want her to be too bothersome to the show, but I think she wants to go out actually, but back out the room.
Fucking throw her out the window, for crying out loud.
I was stroking my pussy.
You were stroking the pussy, yes.
There'll be a smell of cat crap in a minute.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Oh, no, she saved that one for the morning, I think, when I wake up.
Oh, goodness. All right. On that note, I think we'll get back. I think we'll move on to the.
It's your turn next time. We've had Deep Throat from Rob, Pussy from me. What are you going to come up with?
I don't know. Say rap. What is this? Rap? Oh my god. Okay.
I don't agree with that. Deep Throat from Rob. You've had Deep Throat from Rob.
Oh yeah. Well, we've had Deep Throat. I said so. You know, that's worse.
Oh god.
You're gonna have to top that now, Tom.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh.
The show's getting away from us a little bit, folks. I apologize for this.
It's the rap. See, it brings out the sweariness in us all.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
A deep throat breath.
Oh my god! Why do you keep going? Oh dear. Rob, you joined us on a really good show. We're sorry to have to put you through this.
I think I might be a contributing factor. Oh dear. Oh.
Oh my god. All right. The second nominee for for best hip hop and rap. So we break the cycle of the mumble rap there, Mr. Smart Monkey. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so we did. So this one had a bit more going for it, a lot more content to it to a certain extent. It reminded me of Gorillaz, if I was honest, a little bit of Gorillaz and a little bit of that early sort of 90s kind of hip hop music scene. I want to say like a bit like PM Dawn De La Soul, but it's not quite as music orientated, but it still works. It still has that kind of it's got a very chilled vibe to it, as opposed to maybe that more sometimes aggressive aspect to hip hop.
Carlos Fandango.
Right. Well, I think actually yes. Basically, it's much more interesting because it's got a lot more musical stuff going on. Quite like the delivery, although I found it a bit discombobulating as such with the way it was going with the music, the beats, and the flow of the lyrics. It felt like it was a bit. Sorry, she's been a bit. Just a bit sort of out of sync until the I don't know if it was a chorus or what, but it was until the change came, and at that point it's sort of the beat sort of hits a bit harder. So I think you're going to get a cattail going across now. So basically this whole I mean it was all right. It was a bit different. I quite liked his delivery, and it was just a bit more palatable than the first one, I would say. Easier on the ear, and it was all right. You know, I feel like I don't mind rap stuff if they're combining a bit of singing with it, and you sort of had that.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is you're not going to like rap no matter what.
Oh, no, I like some, but
you hate it when the N-word's tossed all around, but then you hate it when there's like a story behind it as well. So you just don't like it at all.
I don't mind. Yeah, it's just I think it's just I don't understand why. I mean, I like things being sung better than I do things being spoken. That said, I don't mind a bit of spoken word audio book stuff and dramas, but I just don't know. I just think it's just exhausted. It's this wasn't too bad because it wasn't too fast, but I think a lot of rap is exhausting to listen to because you're trying to keep up with it, trying to listen to it, and you know, my son's always playing me stuff, and he said, "Oh, did you hear that? Oh, that was so clever. That pun was amazing." I said, "No, I didn't hear it because I was still trying to catch up from that first line. You're on line 5, and I'm still trying to catch up, find out what he said, but or what some of those words mean."
Okay.
But I like some rap. I do actually like some rap, but in small doses, and I just think it's just I struggle to. I can't understand with some genres. I can't understand why they're still around and as popular as they are when they haven't really evolved. That's my biggest beef with it, I think. But this was all right. I mean, yeah, I'm not meant to be criticising because actually all it was it was all right. It was musically a bit more interesting. That was good.
Okay. I'll take it. Okay, so the reason that I like this one is this one wasn't just, all about drugs and all about gang banging and everything like that. It had a a solid story behind it.
You've topped it. See, gang banging over here is different to gang banging over there. But you've managed to top it. I think. We've added more people anyway. Anyway, carry on.
This is just a porno show.
See, well, it's just 3 of us. No, I'm going to go with him. Go there.
Oh dear.
3-way going on here, of sorts.
I think is this what happens to you when Susie's not around for a week?
I think so. Yeah, she's due back tomorrow. So yeah. We should have recorded it on Thursday. I'd be chilled out.
Oh my god.
Right. So you were saying about gangbanging. Tell us about gangbanging. I know because I've heard Officer Tatum is a YouTuber, and he was. I first heard him say that, and I thought, "Hey, is that what you're doing?
Really in the gangbang?
It's going around in gangs, right? I gotcha. Yeah, yeah. It's not what I thought it was.
Well, so in the US, there's like a double entendre, if you will, to gangbanging. So gangbanging means hardcore gangsters going out there and banging. I guess I don't know. As opposed to the adult film version of it. It's just for crying out loud. Oh dear. So if we ever move past this segment here,
who would have thought rap would be that interesting? We've spent longer on rap than any other.
It'd be like a quarter of the show over here, man. In any case, I think noble bars, well done, well put together lyrics. I like that it's thoughtful and meaningful as opposed to the regular gangster stuff that's going on out there. So well done. I personally think so. All right. Well,
on to the third song.
Oh, yeah.
God, this is terrible.
So, this is a UK artist. I guess doing some proper gangbanging. I don't know.
It'll be New Year's Eve by the time we finish this show. Happy 2023, folks.
Time for a joke.
Yeah, I think so. Oh dear. So these are the two that I chose, aren't they? And they're not strictly rap. I tried to go more hip hop.
No, this was pretty rap.
Was it?
Yeah,
I can't remember what I chose. It was only an hour ago.
Night Mizzy, yes, Night Mizzy.
Oh, you chose it. Yes.
UK rap, Night Mizzy, do this naturally. So, I'm almost scared to ask. Okay, Smart Monkey, please go ahead.
Well, this is one of those ones where the rapper is telling a story, isn't it? And I suppose, like you were saying, that's where the kind of strength comes into it, is them telling their story from their perspective. But yeah, I mean, it is that more sort of is it gangster rap, should I say? I don't know, but it's more that street style rap. So it's on that darker side again. But yeah, I can't wait to hear what Carlos says.
Should I keep this short and sweet?
Please.
What the monkey said. No, I think it's a bit like Dizzy Rascal sort of thing, you know, that kind of vibe in the voice. So, but yeah, it's all right. I quite like it. It wasn't overly aggressive. It was all right, and had quite a distinct sort of sound to him.
Is that more like my comment? Grime then? Because I'm a bit out.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's not drill. It's not mumble rap. It's my son would know, I'm sure, but I think you're right. It's probably more like gangster rap, I suppose. Maybe grime. Yeah,
grime. Yeah.
I mean, it could be. It's one of those songs where I get it, but I don't, because once again, there's a solid story behind it. You know, it's not just kind of like mumbling off the cuff, like kind of like, you know, thinking about, you know, what does this rhyme with? What does that rhyme with? You know, you could tell that Night Mizzy there is actually telling a story. The story has to do with his real life, you know, and so that's what makes it kind of like gritty and real and kind of like I'll say loosely relatable, because obviously you know, we can't really relate until we've actually been there, but you know, people have different ways of relating to what they relate to. So, you know, so I just got to think that's one of the hip hop songs, since it has a deeper meaning to everything, even though it goes back into that kind of like you guys said, like the grime, the gangster stuff and everything like that, right? Then you know, it's definitely poignant. Would be the bigger portion of it.
I noticed there was the rhyme he was saying about Dizzy, and then Shizzy and Wizzy, I think, as well. It's but I thought, it's just kind of rhyming for the sake of it. But actually, looked up the Urban Dictionary. Shizzy is something that's defined as cool or awesome, I think, and sometimes defined as stuff. But dude, that car's the shizzy is apparently the thing. But it reminded me of the old. You probably won't know, Tom, but in England we had Sooty years ago, and they used to say, "Easy Wizzy, let's get busy." So it just reminded me of that, really, for some reason. I mean, it's a million miles away from Sooty. It was never like that. It just reminded me of that when he was saying "easy, shizzy, wizzy" and all that. I was thinking, well, should you rhyme with it?
You have to go and look up Sooty, and you'll see why the hell I'm laughing. Oh my god, it's a little glove puppet.
Oh yeah. Would you? So is Sooty a
glove pop?
Glove puppet is a little teddy bear. Well, it doesn't look like that. It's a glove puppet on it.
Oh my god!
But it didn't speak either. He just sort of whispered into.
Squeaked. Oh no, that was the other one.
Oh, that was Sweep. Yeah, Sweep was the squeaking dog.
Well,
you know, it's amazing we ever learned to speak over here. We had and the young kids. I don't know how they learned to speak with the Teletubbies, but yeah, we had some great programs.
Yes.
Easy Wizzy, let's get busy.
Rob's head is about to pop because he's like turning red every time.
I can think of a rhyme actually. Yeah.
Oh my god, you can don't think.
I'm not going to say that one. Right.
Would.
Oh,
Oh. I can say I'm glad that we had the rap and hip hop category here. So best of hip hop and rap. The fourth not the fourth submission. The fourth nominee here is "Won't What I Want" featuring Queen Kyra. Azan.
I think this is why I chose it, just to watch you pronounce it.
Right.
I think it's A-Zone. I'm sure it's A-Zone.
Azan.
Yeah. And it's, want what I want.
Yeah, is this something different than the ozone, the A-Zone?
I don't know what the A-Zone is, actually. Should I...
Well, why would you assume that naturally this is the A-Zone for crying out loud?
Oh, I'm wondering, actually, I think I know what the A-Zone might be, actually.
Oh.
Well, if it's to do with a rap, I'm thinking... I don't know if I should look it up or not, actually.
Porno elements to it.
Right, let's have a look. Urban Dictionary. No, not really in there. So, but I've got my ideas of what it is.
I'm sure that you do. Here we go.
Going into the A-Zone.
Our fourth nominee for the best hip hop rap category, A-Zone with "Won't What I Want" featuring Queen Kyra.
When I want it and I won't stop till I get it with you. I want what I want when I want it and I won't stop till I get it with you. Baby, you got that sex appeal. The way you stand gives me cold chills. I can't front. You got the kind of arms I want to feel around me every morning when I wake up. Is it your hair or maybe it's the fragrance that you wear that's got me stuck? I'm so stuck. Simply beautiful, that's what you are to me. Don't break my heart. What I want when I want it and I won't stop till I get it with you.
Smart Monkey.
Yeah, I like that one. So we've got a lot more going on that, haven't we? It's more like I suppose what we kind of want, which is a bit of music in there as well. But yeah, had a good vibe to that. Liked her vocals and the way they sat on there, almost like a, dare I say, almost like a jazzy feel to it as it was going through.
Yes, indeed. I'd say, and anybody who's watching who's a rap fan, hip hop fan, I apologise because it's more of an R&B track, but it is a bit of hip hop in there as well. That kind of vibe. Bear with me. It's a bit of an R&B vibe, but there's also a bit of hip hop in there. And later on in the track, she does sort of do the a bit of sort of rap, breaker type thing. She says, and yeah, so it's got a bit of a melding of different styles again. Actually, I like the vibe. I like the vocal, although it's probably not hip hop rap as such in the true sense, but it is a bit of a molding of different genres.
What is that category though? Because does it have to be rap?
She's put it as singer-songwriter, although on slaps, I would say R&B, hip hop.
Yeah. What was the category? Hip hop.
Hip hop rap is where we're at right now. The best of hip hop rap, right? So, I think personally, she's going back towards the stylings of Missy Elliott, right? Because Missy Elliott, she was kind of like hardcore, but she really wasn't. You know what I mean? It still kept on with the oh my god, Carl.
Sorry. You're continuing this theme, aren't you?
I'm continuing. You're continuing. What the hell? Why did you have to go?
Sorry. I couldn't help it. Dear. We've had everything tonight.
I quit. I fucking quit.
It's meant to be a music review show. Oh dear. Tonight, folks, we're reviewing everything on Pornhub from A to Z.
Right.
Oh, is that how we got to the A zone? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, mate, well, as I say, I have my ideas about the A zone. Oh dear.
Oh, dear.
Okay. If we ever make it past this category, that would be a fucking miracle, I think, at this point. I don't even know how to edit this, man.
You were saying Missy Elliott was hardcore. I think. Oh dear.
Just edit the whole hip hop section out. You'll be
That'd be okay. Do it as a separate show.
Oh my God.
I suppose you could do it like a Friends title show or something, couldn't you? Just the one where they went hardcore.
Pornation.
Well, the Friends actually did the episode where they had, the one with the free porn. So, oh, dear.
Oh my word.
Excuse me. So, yeah, good luck with editing this. I'm very sorry.
No, you're not.
No,
you're not. Okay. Missy Elliott style 90s beats, very, very nicely done. I can't tell if Rob's going crazy over there. With a very honorable mention going out here to ROMAN Roman with Mr. Handsome. If you recall, we had this on the Underground Sound. I'll look this up over here, and then I definitely did pee before.
I forgot about the honourable mention. That'll add another hour. Oh dear.
Are you just getting your second wind right now? Is that what's going on?
It looks. Yeah, I definitely went tired for about 50 minutes ago. I was sort of just staring into space, listening. You thought I'd frozen. That's how tired I was. Oh dear.
Fucking reminds me of like the 3 a.m. fucking giggles and shit, So, oh my goodness.
And in the next episode, folks, we're going to do all about drugs. Oh God. Oh dear.
Okay. All right, folks. Our for no apparent reason, because I'm not going to give Carl any fuel to talk about anything right now. For no apparent reason, here's our honorable mention. ROMAN, Mr. Handsome.
Mr. Handsome's back. Mr. Handsome's back. Mr. Handsome's back. I don't care what they say.
I don't care what they think.
They keep my name in their mouth.
Like they rap down south.
I'm a legend from heaven. All the Pink Panther. Smooth Daddy Cool, they call me Mr. Handsome. Well, it's that $1 million man.
With that $1 million plan, you can talk all you want, but I ain't no punk, so back up, understand. The reason it's my season, hating on me, that is treason. Your girl is looking at me, coming at me for some pleasing. to the point. Is he real or is he fake? Your woman's getting tired. She wants that see no stay. Grab the pork and beans and hot dog while your whip is clean as Lysol. Louis Vuitton with a cashmere coat is what she get from here on.
I don't care what they say.
I don't care what they think.
They keep my name in their mouth.
Like they rap downstairs.
I'm a legend from heaven. All the Pink Panther. Smooth daddy cool, they call me Mr. Handsome. Ha ha ha.
It's that bro with that flow. No need to get excited, they gon' bite it, don't you know? My style is so original, can't touch it with a pigeon toe. Making my dough, it's all I want. Happy to see me, it's a joke. All you want, with my lyrical marijuana. Surely we don't stunt, we put that funk on Corona. Your ears in a coma, you smell that aroma. That funk that we giving for your trash, how we living.
I don't care what they say.
I don't care what they think.
They keep my name in their mouth.
Like they rap downstairs.
I'm a legend from heaven. All the Pink Panther. Smooth daddy cool, they call me Mr. Handsome. The game done changed,
and they still hating on me.
My age done rain,
and they still spit baloney. Telling lies, never playing me, only playing family. I found another way. What you say, now you know me. Taking what I got, it's what you want, I'm not having it. Put respect on my name, like we Birdman savages. Cash money, blue faces, my place is in your dream. Cash rules everything around me, and we still call it cream.
I don't care what they say.
I don't care what they think.
They keep my name in their mouth.
Like they rap downstairs.
I'm a legend from heaven. All the Pink Panther. Smooth daddy cool, they call me Mr. Handsome.
I'm listening to somebody giggling here. Carl, just get it out of your system, man.
Yep, it's out. I've got it out.
Okay. Anyone care to comment on the song?
I like that one actually.
Yeah, so
I did. I like that one. I thought it was a bit kind of comic in its, intentionally so in its like lyrics, and yeah, I thought it was a bit. I used cheeky before a few times, but I thought it was a bit of a cheeky track. It was a good one.
Yeah, I think it's sort of tongue-in-cheek approach and characters that their voices and stuff, and it was memorable for that. Music was okay. There's a bit of ebb and flow in it. The music wasn't the same all the way through, so that's good. And lots of detail in there. I liked it. I think it was my favourite of the. Wish that was in the actual.
Yeah, I bet a few like that. Where the honourable mention to me is the better one, but a bit Outcast. Do you remember Outcast?
Yes.
When they, they had that kind of lighter, humorous side, and still good, strong songs at the same time. It reminded me a bit of that.
Yeah, and it was kind of also on that sort of side of things of I was going to say D12, but without all the foulness of it, So, but yeah, I thought it was quite light-hearted and fun, which is again I've mentioned before to Tom. I think the fun needs to be injected back into the music.
That definitely did the job. I'll tell you that much. So I like that song. I liked it from the first time that we heard it. I liked it from the 60th time that I heard that song. So it's good fun all around. Not that the other songs are bad or anything like that. They're I think that's one of the better ones that Roman ROMAN has done. Obviously there are more. There were more that I wanted for the hip hop rap kind of category, but oh boy,
we ran out of time.
We can squeeze a few more in.
Yeah, go on then. We've got a couple of days spare. Still more time before the new year.
Okay. Moving on.
Do we know what the Roman, because ROMAN, Roman, is what it actually stands for? Is it abbreviated for a reason, or is it just the way it's stylized?
I don't know. It's supposed to be a mystery.
Okay.
It's meant to be a mystery because the lead singer was apparently a very popular 90s artist who does not want to reveal himself or his name. So every music video that they have, he's wearing a mask, and they do not want to move anywhere forward from that. So they just want to keep it a mystery, whether whether the backstory is true is left up to anybody's imagination. There's absolutely no biography to this group, person, act, whatever the case may be. It is just ROMAN abbreviated. I have to think that stands for something. But once again, this is a direct submission that came into the ones and twos when I was still doing the ones and twos underground, and that's it, man.
Could be Vanilla Ice. You mentioned him earlier.
Well, I don't think so. No. There is a music video there, and so no, Vanilla Ice is definitely out of the question. I'll tell you that much for sure.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So, but once again, it is stated that this was a famous '90s R&B hip hop kind of singer that was involved in a bigger group that parted ways, and that's it.
Intrigued.
That's what I got. That's what I got on that one. So, hence the honorable mention for that one. So now we're going to go on to our best
jokes
YouTube video category.
No jokes.
We are going to go into jokes. If you could just give me a second. Like what, you didn't laugh enough the fucking last hour and a half that it took us to get through those 4 songs? What was the Spiders' New Year's resolution?
Nope, can't think of anything.
Spend less time on the web.
Well, this New Year's, I'm going to make a resolution I can keep. No dieting all year long. Yeah, it's not really great joke, is it?
No, it's
all right. Why should you put your new calendar in the freezer? Because it's a really cool way to... what is it? Oh, to start the new year in a cool way. Sorry, I messed that one up. My second wind has gone.
It's gone now. No.
Lost my mojo.
I don't know if I should be thankful or scared here.
Definitely.
So, why didn't Pluto plan Earth's birthday?
Say again, please, Tom.
Why didn't Pluto plan Earth's birthday?
Don't know.
Well, he forgot to plan it, but yeah.
Oh,
I know.
I've seen that joke. You did not say that one properly.
No, I did not. No, I did.
Why is New Year's a slice of bread's least favorite holiday? It has to make a toast. That's bad. That's bad. I think we're scraping the barrel now, aren't we?
We are.
This is my style again. This is my humor down to a T. What do you use in the bathroom on January the 1st after you go for a number 2?
No, I don't know.
A New Year's B-Day.
New Year's B-Day. Oh, God. Dear.
Oh, it's a fucking bidet.
Oh, wow.
B-Day. It's British. B-Day. It's French, isn't it, actually? Oh, I don't know.
What was the opening line of the Spice Rack's New Year's toast? Cheers to the good times. Oh, that's really getting... We really are scraping the barrel. I'm so sorry about this.
No, I remember 2022 like it was yesterday. That was it. It's a one-liner.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
You have to feel like we're in 2023. We're gonna kill Rob.
Oh, God. Ah, dear. This could be one.
Okay. On to the best YouTube music videos, and the nominees are
can I take to forget your face? I need a new religion, a new prescription for this human condition. I wanna know where you were last night, and if you were doing something not quite right. Well, Sherlock Holmes would know. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes would know. I wanna solve the mystery of the guy next door who leaves his rubbish by our door. Well, Sherlock Holmes would know. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes would know. And why his bloody dog always leaves a mess, and how do I get the little shit to confess? Well, Sherlock Holmes would know. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes would know. He know it. And here I stand without a fucking clue. A thousand mysteries inside of my love's like a black hole sun, so bright when it burns, so dark when it's done. So hard to relate to one when I find myself tripping off that blunt, tripping off this blunt. So I might be blunt if I do confront you. Don't run, no, don't run from the black hole sun.
I just picked a new bitch up in a Volvo truck. Said she never seen LA. I put her on a plane. So
Mikky.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. I love it even more now that I know she played a live set in making that video. It is just brilliant. I love it. I love the song. I love the style it's presented in. The backdrop of Paris. And just a bit of a silly, really insignificant fact, but I worked in the building that's to the left of that shot in the distance. Montparnasse Tower looks over onto Eiffel Tower. Beautiful view.
No
beautiful
shit.
city. Beautiful city. She's just down from the Sacre-Cœur in that video. I can tell you that now. And yeah, stunning. Love it.
Nice.
Carlos
It's
Fanego, I mean,
extremely. He did a bit of a Russ Palladino on us there. I know a guy.
I know a guy. Yeah, he did.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, it's she's extremely watchable, and I don't mean that in a sort of creepy way, but I mean she's just watching her sort of go about her business, just fantastic. And she's we've said before, but there's just days and days on end and weeks on end of practice to get it so spot on. The right time, right movements and things, and the right squares to press, all those kind of things. But it's just fantastic. It's visually so pleasing to watch. It's like a modern day version of Jean-Michel Jarre with his laser things, with his all that kind of stuff. And she's got so much more to offer, so much more to come.
She's very talented, very talented. I mean, I'm in awe of that, of the configuration she had playing there, and just pulling that all together on a live set. It's just awesome.
Plus, she sings.
Yeah,
and sings well.
Blows my mind.
Yeah,
to
amazing.
See a live act which is better than the fucking recorded actual version of it, right? So as to Carlos's point is, can you imagine how much time is spent just practicing what needs to be done, right? Not even worrying about the outfit and everything like that, right? But what needs to be done just musically and everything like that, just to the timing, the precision that you need to have to make a song better than the album version is just absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wrap my mind around it still. And I'm going to show, since we were talking about it earlier, before we go on to the next song, since we don't have a full 4 songs here just yet, we still need to think of one. I'll show Rob here. The one that I was talking about is the Big Part of the Big Sun, which was another live session, which is just equally incredible. Like, that one was filmed with a drone and everything like that, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of cinematic effect to it. But if you take a look at this one was just kind of like with one still camera and one person moving around with another camera. So check this out, and then we'll move on. I think I have a 4th that I want to do, which we did on Video Gaga. But I think since that one's underground, I think that we should probably count that one as one of the best of the 2022s. But just for Rob here. Take a look at this woman. Carl's falling asleep.
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
Luckily for you, we only have 2 more to go. We still need to figure out a last video here. Oh no, I did figure it out already. Never mind. Scratch what I just said. We have about 15 more minutes to go here. Then Carl can finally go off to La La Land to go meet Susie tomorrow. So then he can tell her all the jokes that he's been telling us today. So best YouTube video of the year, number 2. This is Very Reverend with Holy Ghost. Let's forget about the fact that the song is top notch. Let's forget about that the production quality of the song is top notch. Let's forget about the fact that the Very Reverend here has everything that it takes to be a superstar. Let's just focus for a second just on the sheer cinematography of this video. That's it. Smart monkey.
You know what? The first thing that I'm intrigued about is what budget that video was filmed on, and I'm guessing it's probably a small budget, but what it pulls off is massive because it's a small location, not a lot of different areas that they're filming in, and yet they cut this video that just matches the track perfectly. And it's dark, and I mean literally it's dark in lighting, but it's just dark in its overall content and the way it's chopped and cut, and yeah, it's really good. Second time round I've seen that now, and second time it's better than the first time, and I reckon if I watch it again it'll get better and better and better again each time you watch it. It's very choppy. I think for some people they might find it too much so, but yeah, it just suits that track so well and drives the story through, and he's so visually yeah, you're just drawn to it, to the character he's playing as well. You know, it's just, yeah, I like it. Really good.
It's a nice kind of like horror flickish kind of thing going on, right? So
bit of Evil Dead in there with the sort of yeah, it's good.
Carlos Fandango, what say you, sir?
Yeah, it reminded me of there was a found film video, horror film, that I can't remember if it was VHS or Rec or something like that, but there was one of the stories. It was like a little portmanteau of 4 stories or so, and one of them was set in a little sort of motel type room, a bit like that, yeah, where you had these sort of night vision, a video camera greenness to it. So it reminded me of that, and but yeah, really good. I mean, he did a good acting job, you know, acting out the character in the lyrics and everything. And yeah, I love the song, actually, really good. But as you say, setting that aside, well made. Very, I mean, particularly in the car, all those fast cuts were, you know, very contemporary and modern. I don't like things that are cut too much, but that was yeah, very, very good, very well done, professional.
I gotta think. I really do have to think that if you're a fan of 9 Inch Nails, you are absolutely going to love this video because you know, of the video Closer, you know, back in the day, because it has those cuts, right? So whoever the director was back then, definitely, or for this matter now, right? Whoever the editor and the director was right now deserves a lot of praise for that, because there are some really fast cuts, and you know, I do music videos as well, but the whole thing is that, you know, keeping a storyline going when you have this going on and that going on, and you know, and you need to sync this with this portion of the song. It's a very difficult thing to do, which is why most music videos kind of like, they don't end up looking like garbage, but they end up kind of like looking like, let's say, second rate, right? But this video, I gotta say, honestly, was probably what, $100. Because you got to figure, I would think that this is his friend recording, doing the video, and so they spent, you know, $40 on wine and you know, $60 on the hotel room, because that hotel room definitely does not deserve more than $60 per night. You know what I mean? So just any kind of special effects, but you know, taken away from the fact that the song is brilliant, that video is brilliant just altogether as well. So once again, we talked about it before. Why is this person just not? Why is this band not famous yet? This is super fucking entertaining, and the fact that it had X amount of views is kind of like insignificant to the fact of what they could actually perform live, because you could tell by dude's acting skills over there that he's into it. This is him. This is his life. You know, this is his alternate persona, is the character that's in the video right there, right? The Very Reverend. So seriously, why are they not touring? Why are they not doing shows? It's just once again one of those mind-boggling things that we will ever go through on the underground sound here. So, oh boy, just it's horrible. It's horrible seeing that this kind of talent is not out there for entertainment because of the money that's being spent out there with the with all the mainstream stuff. So we're going to move on to a lower budget production here, but equally as entertaining, I think. Our friend Slow Walk, who had the song "Hangman" on the rock section there. This is a song that he did that's called "Sherlock Holmes Would Know." And if you are,
oh, excuse me, I thought I muted it.
I thought you muted as well. So. I was watching you get ready to cough, and I'm like, okay, good. He muted it.
I pressed it,
but then all of a sudden, no,
it's gonna be worse noises.
Let's not get back to that.
I must have been on mute all that time, not saying anything, and then I put it back on again and coughed.
We just stepped out of there. We just stepped out of there. Let's enjoy "Sherlock Holmes Would Know" by our friend Keith Slow Walk.
Still on mute, Tom.
I'm glad I didn't.
Do you know what? We could have just kept silent and just let it go on for ages like that.
Well, I'm glad you stopped me, because I was going to say, so that was our third nomination for the best YouTube video of 2022. And if I have to say one thing, is that I'll tell you what, Keith is entertaining. That is for damn sure. Smart monkey. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, that was a very humorous video for sure. I love the way it's done, actually. It's just all projected on the wall, and he's just sitting in it, interacting with the projected image. And I'm like, how simple is that? And yet it just perfectly works and is really funny. I really enjoyed it.
Very clever idea. Yeah. The simplest idea, the cleverest ideas are often the simplest ideas, and just the whole premise and concept of that is good. But the fact that they got the references in there of the 221 B Baker Street and all those different Sherlock Holmes sort of things in there, and filmed it on the slides were filmed, projected thing was filmed on location. Brains turning to mush now. So, but yeah, it's good. Really, really entertaining. Kept you absorbed. You kind of want to know what was going to happen next, and then they introduced the other character, and it was good, really good, really good.
I liked it because Keith is also just a one-man band. You know what I mean? I mean, he does the drums, the guitar, the lyrics, the vocals. He does it all himself. So I think that's very fascinating, just by itself. So the fact that he's able to pull off what seems to be a simple projected video, right? The fact that he's able to pull that off on top of everything else that he has going on is just wildly entertaining to me. So I definitely think that deserves one of the top spots in the, excuse me, again, that it deserves one of the top spots in the video of the 22's of the year. So very clever, I think. And so, well, it's a damn shame, but I know everybody's got to go to sleep. Since we spent an hour and a half on the fucking rap hip hop genre here, we're gonna go to our last song here for the best of the YouTube videos. Carl and I had done this one on the Video Gaga section, which I kind of removed. I'm going to later put that section as the text tracks. We are starting back up with the radio station, and the radio station is going to take up a bit more of our energy. I'm going to say we will still post to YouTube, obviously. We'll keep everything going here. I just think that the main focus will be put onto the radio station, since we are going to have an FM dial. You know, the radio station will be hosted on the website. We'll be able to do and host a lot more ourselves without worrying about this fact of whether we can do this or promote this or not promote that. We will be very self-sufficient, as it were, which is one of the reasons that I really, really, really want to bring the radio station back. We will be, in a sense, our own social media platform. So the ones and twos, until any further notice, are going to be done and over with. It will literally just be the Underground Sound and the Underground Sound radio station. Call name yet to come. It'll come very shortly. So I'm thinking I need to look at my calendar here real quick. So this video will be uploaded on the 31st, which is Saturday. We will record episode 22 next Friday, which is the 6th. The Friday after that, Friday the 13th. Friday, January 13th, 2023, will be the relaunch of the Underground Sound radio station with its very own call sign on the FM dials. And I'm very much looking forward to that. That's going to be exciting. So, so keep tabs with this channel here, folks. Please, by all means, all the artists that you've seen here today, get into the video description below. Find the artists that you like, put them on your playlist, but also get into the comments below and let us know which ones that you have liked for best rock, best electronica, best pop, best music video. Whichever one that you like, please leave comments on there, so that way we can give you the artist of the year of 2022. And before we leave, we will actually have our suggestions. This is like the second time I've knocked the damn microphone off tonight. It's a new configuration, folks. New configuration. But before we leave today, we have one more music video to go as the best video of 2022. This one is by a YouTuber called Patrick CC, and he got together with two hip-hop artists which are on two different continents, and they put together a music video, and this is what came out. I think the song is dope. Personally, myself, I think that well, I'll let you watch it first, and then we'll talk about it. How about that? So this one is Patrick CC with Black Hole Sun.
You got me thinking, how much is cost them now? I think it's clever because it brings together those artists, obviously on screen, but in puppet format, which is quite a unique way of doing it, especially when they look a bit like Sesame Street characters. They're quite good and quite endearing, really. Quite cute. They might not want to be cute, but they are. But yeah, I thought it was another humorous video, and just the setting of it, and the fact they've managed to bring those people from arguably all over the world into a set that's puppet driven is clever. It's a good concept.
Virtual set. Carlos Fandango,
Yeah.
you and I have talked about this song before, so just
Yes, I
once
remembered
again,
it once you
yeah.
started it. It was, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? It's nice, and you can't go wrong with puppets, really. I was watching a documentary about the Muppet Show only the other day, and it was, it is endearing. Is exactly the word, yeah, because the characters are, yeah, it's just, they're quite nicely designed, and they are fun, and it's always going to be quite funny and entertaining. Yeah, it goes well with the song, that's for sure.
For sure, for sure. So, Smart Monkey, what if I told you that that video cost $1,000?
Yeah, it's impressive though, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. What if I told you that that video cost $5,000?
Okay. It didn't, did it? Is it going up? You're not going to keep going up.
So, what if I told you that that video cost $10,000?
Okay.
That's where it ends. That's where it ends. Really, that video cost $10,000 to make.
Oof.
Yeah. Do you think it was worth it?
It's a difficult one.
It's not difficult.
I suppose if it gets them out there and famous.
How many views has it had so far?
Yeah, that's probably more to the point.
Okay. Well, let's see. So it was released 1 year ago. It has had 330,000.
Wow.
If you're going to spend the 10K,
but Patrick already had nearly 1 million subscribers before he released that music video.
if you're going to spend 10K on a video, then you've also got to have a budget to make sure you get that video out there. And
well, I mean, obviously, that particular song was the hottest song off of that album, which is called you see, this is why I shouldn't keep talking. Launch Sequence. So, but I do know that video cost $10,000. I personally think that, that if I were a production company and I was just like, okay, give me $10,000, I'll give you a kick-ass video, I would probably do a bit more than they did. I mean, I don't know how hard it is working with puppets. I really don't. But
they can be a bit temperamental. You just need to ask City.
I guess, right? It's just like you really don't have anyone to argue back with you, do you? I'm just saying. All right, folks. I can see that Carlos Fandango is just about asleep at this point.
I was just looking up some jokes, actually, just in case we wanted to end on a couple of little jokes.
Feel free. I didn't, looking at you when that song was playing, it didn't look like you had the energy for some more jokes.
I'll give it a go. Okay, what was Dr. Frankenstein's New Year's resolution?
To make more friends.
Yep. What was the Amityville priest's resolution?
Oh, that one I don't know.
To exorcise more.
Oh, I'm gonna not guess that one either. So it's easy when you know.
What did the cheerleaders say on New Year's Day? Oh, that's bad. Happy New Cheer.
Happy New Cheer.
Oh, that's terrible. We keep scraping the barrel, but the barrel's got more to offer.
It really does, doesn't it?
Didn't get that one. That's weird. Okay, we'll ignore that one then. Okay. No, that's a bit crappy as well. Well, it's not that the others have been great, but knock knock.
Who's there?
Razor.
Razor who?
Raise a glass and toast to the Happy New Year. Oh, that's a bit dodgy, isn't it? Razor.
Yeah.
It's not really a name, is it?
I knew that was coming.
Just humoring me. Yeah.
Oh my God, my resolution was so low. I wish. Oh no, that's not. See, I don't even have my glasses. Oh, it's 22. 2022 was such a blur. I wish my resolution was much better.
I thought you were just chatting and talking. Was that a joke? Sorry.
No, it's quite all right. And I know my acting skills are bar none. Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio.
I think we were just wrapping up and chatting, so I thought, I'll close down a couple of the apps we don't need. And then I realised there was a pregnant pause and a bit of silence. And I thought, I think that was a punchline.
I quit.
So sorry. We should have had some party poppers or something.
I was talking about champagne and everything the entire time. You're the one that said, I'm not getting dressed up. I'll do that for the birthday of the show. I was planning on having the suit and tie, the party poppers, the champagne, and everything like that. And then you had to go and ruin it. Because
So
you were
going to do that, were you?
No, because all year long, you're the one that's talking about dressing smart and like, let's get this going on. And then today's fucking text messages are like, well, you know what? I'm not feeling really well.
I haven't been unwell, yeah.
Hot portion, and then I'm going to be feeling fucking perfectly fine and dandy.
All right.
Yeah. So no party poppers or anything.
No, we can pretend, yeah.
There. Ready?
All over the microphone.
There you go. Rob's
That's good. There's that. And Old Lang Syne. We can join arms.
Oh,
should old acquaintance be? Oh, there's a hole in there.
Why are you flipping me off, man? What the hell
sorry.
is wrong with you?
So I'll also. Oh yeah, got a lucky cat. I forgot I've got the lucky cat here. Although the battery's out at the moment, but it will wave goodbye to the to 2022 and wave hello to 2023. But that's meant to be good luck. The lucky cat always waves with his left paw.
Yeah, this is such a sad ending to 2023. 2022.
I know it was a long show, but it wasn't that long.
It was quite long.
Oh yeah, to get it done.
I wonder if the audience are going to feel the same way. I mean, this is taking long form videos to the extreme, I think.
Yes. Go ahead, keep going.
It's longer than a Joe Rogan episode.
Yes. Get the jokes out of the way.
Oh dear. That's been good.
7 inches. I mean 7 hours long.
Excuse me. Oh.
I just push it out there unedited. It'll get down the bomb.
Yeah.
Probably should.
Oh dear.
For the underground sound, I will say that I am DJX Tech, and please help us pick the best of the 2022s for all the categories that we have mentioned today. We are looking for our artists of the year. If you don't help us, we're going to have to get Carlos Fandango to basically choose them. And please don't let that happen. Please, please, please don't let that happen. So hop into the video description below, find the links to all these artists that we have talked about tonight. Hop on them, check out their music right over there, and let us know which ones that you felt were top of the barrel in each of the genres here. For tonight, December 3rd, not tonight, but when the show airs, December 31st, 2022. I am DJ Exec. With me, as always, is Carlos Fandango. We are trying to put the us back into music.
So please do like, subscribe, and share, and we'll find the music that you love to hear. Also, don't forget to press that bell so that you get the notifications from our up videos as we upload them, as Tom uploads them.
Damn Skippy. And I will say thank you for our very special guest host right here, Rob Smart Monkey. I have a feeling he's not going to be back ever.
Be the blast. Come back again.
Yeah, I hope you had a good time on the show. It's definitely been fun laughing and chatting with you and everything like that. So any kind of New Year's endings that you'd like to put on to here with the show?
Or any New Year's resolutions? Never to come on the show again?
No, I'd just like to say thanks to you for inviting me along and for your support to me and many of the other independent artists that are out there. You know, you're helping us put our names out there, and every little helps, doesn't it? So it's a thank you to you and what you've done for 2022 for me and others out there, and wishing you all the best for 2023. I'll be supporting you.
Ditto. And I think I would add to that as well. Thank you to all the artists and yourself. Keep the music coming, because it feeds the show in turn. So it's one of those things, David Brent moment there, but it's a symbiotic relationship. And we'll try our best to get you good music out there.
It is. Honestly, this is what we like to do. So we like to listen to new music, and Carl and I have said many of times that even if there were no money to come of this or anything like that, it is two friends hanging out, just talking, chatting about music, cracking jokes. So we really do this for the fun of it, because we do like listening to the music that's out there. So we really, really, really want to thank all of the musicians that are out there for doing what you do, because we are musicians ourselves, and we know the intensive labor that's put into actually putting this piece here and this piece there, and then kind of like trying to meld everything together just to upload it, and then realize, oh shit, I forgot to take that out, or whatever the case may be, and then kind of like having to rework the whole thing all over again. So Carlos and I do understand that 100%, and we want to thank you for really sticking by it and doing the music that you do and doing what you do in general. It really gives this show the fuel for the fire to burn further, and hopefully we can keep on making this a bigger and bigger relationship in 2023, where more music will come in and the fire will burn larger, and especially with the radio station coming back once again, we can maybe take indie music to a whole nother level, which is something that we really, really do wish for. So excuse me, on behalf of myself, Carlos Fandango, I'm sure Justin Painter, Rookie Rogers, Russ Palatino, Rich Davis, and Rob Smart Monkey here, we do thank you for joining us for all the shows so far this year. 2023 will be better. Even there's going to be skits and all kinds of other stuff going on, and traveling throughout space and times and different dimensions. Probable, yes, probable as well. Logical, maybe not, who knows. We've not been logical on any of our shows way too much, but we do thank you for joining us for all the episodes that you have joined us for, and we do hope to welcome new subscribers and new followers and new fans in the future. So for 2022, we will say goodbye and wishing everybody a very, very, very happy new year, and may you prosper in whatever your endeavors are, whether it be business or music or whatever the case may be. We wish you absolutely nothing but happiness and very bright futures. DJ X Tech signing off. Thank you. Good night.
Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year.